Beloved soul, you are never unprotected. You are never alone. At this very moment, unseen light surrounds you, a radiant armor woven from divine love, faith, and peace. You walk in the presence of infinite intelligence, and that presence goes before you, preparing your path, clearing your way, and dissolving all danger before you even arrive. The world may speak of fear, but divine law speaks of protection. Fear says, what if something happens? Faith says, nothing can touch me unless it carries God's permission and purpose. And when your faith becomes your fortress, nothing in the world can pierce your peace. Say softly, I am surrounded by divine light. I am safe. I am guided. I am protected in all that I do. Protection is not about hiding, it is about remembering. When you remember who you are, a spark of the infinite, a child of divine substance, fear loses its grip. No weapon formed against you can prosper, because in divine consciousness, there are no weapons, only illusions of fear trying to be believed. Say with quiet confidence, I do not fear. I remember my source. I live under grace and in perfect love. The law of protection is the law of awareness. What you are aware of, you invite. If you are aware of light, light meets you. If you are aware of fear, fear approaches. And so each morning, you are called to declare your awareness of divine safety, not as a ritual, but as a remembrance. Before you leave your home, before you take a step into the world, say within your heart, divine love goes before me, making safe, joyous, and successful my way. I am invisible to all harm. I am visible only to good. Feel the energy of those words wrap around you like golden light. This light is not imagination. It is energy. It is law. It is the same light that guided Moses through the Red Sea, that surrounded Daniel in the lion's den, that walked beside the Christ in the storm. That same presence now walks beside you. There is nothing to fear when you know this truth. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are under divine order. You are not a victim of energy. You are the vibration of divine protection itself. Say it aloud, I am the vibration of divine protection. I walk in peace. I rest in safety. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. Every day brings you into contact with energy, words, thoughts, emotions, from people and places. Some are bright and kind, others heavy and confused. But none of it can cling to you if your spirit is anchored in light. You do not need to fight darkness. You only need to stay aware of your own light. Light dissolves shadow without effort. The truth is simple, you are safest when you are peaceful. Peace is not weakness. Peace is power. Peace is the frequency of divine protection. And when your vibration remains peaceful, you rise above confusion, chaos, and danger. Say softly, my peace protects me. My peace guides me. My peace is my proof that divine order is at work. When you begin your day with fear, you open your energy to accidents and anxiety. But when you begin your day with faith, you open your energy to safety and success. Divine protection is not luck. It is alignment. It is knowing that wherever you go, divine intelligence has already gone before you. There are unseen hands that guide your steps. There are unseen angels that stand guard at your doors. There is unseen order in everything that seems uncertain. The same power that keeps the stars from colliding keeps your path secure. Say with gratitude, thank you, divine source, that I am protected in all ways always. No harm can enter my field, for my field is filled with love. Every word you speak creates your world, so let your words be shields of light. When you say, I am protected, heaven agrees. When you say, nothing can harm me, angels align. When you say, divine love goes before me, roads open, storms still, and peace walks beside you. Do not let your mind dwell on danger, dwell on deliverance. Do not let your heart entertain fear, entertain faith. For faith is the atmosphere in which protection thrives. Say now, I walk by faith, not by fear. I walk by light, not by sight. I walk in divine confidence, for I am divinely protected. And when worry tries to whisper, remember this truth. Worry is the prayer of fear. Faith is the prayer of love. Pray love. Speak love. Live love. When you say, nothing can harm me, it is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are aligning yourself with the eternal law that love protects its own. See yourself now surrounded by white, gold light. It covers your home, your loved ones, your plans, your dreams. Every word you have spoken in faith has become a wall of radiance around your life. This wall is not made of stone, it is made of truth, and truth cannot be broken. Say again, I live in truth. I live in love. Therefore, I live in perfect safety. This is daily spiritual protection. Not superstition, but spiritual science. You do not need to watch the shadows when you walk with the sun, and you do not need to fear darkness when you carry light. So walk in peace, beloved soul. You are surrounded, supplied, supported, and secured by divine law. Nothing can touch the child of God. Nothing can enter the field of light except love. Repeat it as your declaration. I am surrounded by divine love. I am protected by divine power. I am guided by divine wisdom. Every step I take is safe. Every path I walk is blessed. And so it is. And so it continues, every morning, every moment, under grace and in perfect protection. Beloved soul, the word you speak is your wand. It is not a whisper into air. It is a command into creation. Every word is energy, clothed in sound, charged with power, and set free to perform its purpose. And when you understand this, you begin to build your protection not from fear, but from faith. For your words form the armor that nothing of darkness can pierce. Say softly, my words are my armor, my speech is my shield. Every word I speak is clothed in divine power. When you speak with love, you are covered in light. When you speak with fear, you open your door to confusion. That is why divine law teaches, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. Your speech decides your shield. Many walk unprotected, not because they lack prayer, but because they lack awareness of their spoken word. They say, I'm afraid. They say, bad things always happen to me. And the universe, hearing them, obeys. For the law does not discriminate between joke and judgment. It only fulfills what is declared with emotion. But the awakened soul speaks differently. The awakened soul says, I am divinely guided. I am safe in every direction. No harm can touch me, for my words are light. Say that now with conviction, my words are light. My words go before me and prepare my way. My words guard my home, protect my body, and bless my path. Each morning, you can put on this invisible armor through speech. It is simple, powerful, eternal. When you rise, declare, divine love goes before me today and makes easy, joyous, and safe my way. That single sentence becomes an energetic wall of light. No negative force can enter a field surrounded by love. The words of fear attract what they name. The words of faith attract what they expect. So speak not of what you dread. Speak only of what you desire. Say not, I don't want trouble, but I walk in peace. Say not, I hope nothing bad happens, but all things work together for my good. Your word is law. The moment you speak in faith, the universe rearranges itself to obey you. For divine power flows through the human tongue like current through wire. Your mouth is the gateway of miracles. Say it slowly. My words carry the vibration of peace. My words carry the frequency of love. My words carry the authority of divine law. When you speak protection over your life, it is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual engineering. Every affirmation builds a structure in the unseen realm. Every declaration becomes a wall of radiant energy around you. You may not see it, but creation sees it. You may not feel it instantly, but life begins to move according to it. Think of a soldier. They do not go to battle without armor. You, too, enter the world daily where thoughts, energies, and words fly like arrows. But your armor is invisible and invincible. It is the vibration of your speech. Every "I am safe" deflects fear. Every "I am loved" dissolves hostility. "I am guided" redirects danger. Say softly, "My words are my weapon and my peace. I speak light, therefore I live in light." Remember this divine secret. Silence has power, but speech has direction. Silence holds energy, but words send it forth. So when you speak, speak deliberately. Let no idle word leave your lips. Every careless word leaks energy. Every conscious word reinforces your protection. When you bless your day blesses you. When you bless your home becomes a temple. When you bless your money multiplies. Blessing is not habit, it is command. To bless means to call something into divine order. Say now, "I bless my life. I bless my body. I bless my surroundings. I bless all who come near me with peace and goodwill." And in that moment, heaven responds. Even those who wish you harm are disarmed by invisible love. For no negative word can penetrate a field of divine blessing. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn taught, "Your word is your sword." A sword cuts through illusion. When you declare truth, it slices through fear. When you affirm love, it severs the roots of worry. When you speak prosperity, it cuts away limitation. You are never defenseless. Your speech is your defense. Every "I am" is a decree. Every "I will" is a creation. Every "I trust" is a command to the unseen forces of good. Say gently, "I now speak words of divine protection." Every sound that leaves my lips carries light. My words are guided by divine intelligence and backed by spiritual law. Even in silence, your inner words create. So monitor your thought, speech as carefully as your verbal speech. For a thought repeated becomes vibration, and vibration becomes form. This is why you must choose words of strength, not sorrow, of certainty, not confusion. When your inner dialogue says, "I am safe," your outer world reflects it. When your inner voice says, "I am loved," even strangers treat you kindly. When your inner world says, "I am light," no darkness can enter. Say this as a morning decree: divine love surrounds me. Divine light protects me. Divine power guards me. Divine wisdom guides me. I am safe. I am loved. I am secure in all ways. Let those words echo in your heart throughout the day. They will not only protect you, they will direct you. They will lead you away from danger and toward destiny. They will keep your vibration high and your path clear. Remember, you do not need to beg for protection. You simply need to declare it. You are not pleading with God to save you. You are agreeing with God that you are already safe. That is the difference between fear and faith. Say with divine authority, "I decree protection over my mind, my body, my spirit, my home, my path. Nothing of fear can touch me. Nothing of harm can find me. My word is law, and my law is love." You are speaking from the throne of divine consciousness. Your words are not small. They move substance. They travel into the invisible and return with visible proof. Each sentence spoken in love builds another layer of light around your life, and soon you will feel it. That calm assurance that wherever you go, you are wrapped in something unseen yet unmistakably real. That is the armor of words. Say one last time, "My words are clothed in light. My speech is protected by grace. Every word I speak builds a wall of divine peace around me. I am safe, I am strong, I am surrounded by love." And so it is, and so it continues, as divine law made manifest through your spoken word. Beloved soul, every day you walk through energies. Some are bright with joy, others are heavy with fear. If you do not cleanse yourself spiritually, those vibrations begin to cling. Not because they are stronger than you, but because you forgot to release them. Divine protection is not only a shield, it is a flow. When energy stagnates, fear hides within it. But when you cleanse, forgive, and bless, all heaviness dissolves, and your light expands again. Say softly, "I am cleansed by divine love. I am washed in light. All heaviness now leaves my mind, my heart, my home, and my life. Fear is not real power. It is simply faith inverted. Belief in what you do not want instead of what you desire. And the moment you return your attention to divine love, fear fades like fog before the sunrise. You do not fight fear, you outshine it. You do not battle darkness, you turn on the light. You do not argue with negativity, you bless it into silence. Say with calm authority, all fear is dissolved in divine love. Every thought not of peace now melts away. My field is pure. My heart is clean. My life is filled with light. Every word of worry, every memory of pain, every hidden resentment carries energy. If you hold on to it, it colors your vibration. But when you release it through love, forgiveness, and gratitude, your energy becomes radiant again. Forgiveness is the first cleansing power. To forgive does not mean to agree with what happened. It means to free yourself from it. Every time you say, I forgive, you open the windows of your soul and let divine light pour in. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the highest strength. Say softly, I forgive everyone and everything. I forgive myself completely. I release all blame, and I am free. Now feel how your energy lifts. Forgiveness clears the air of your inner home. Resentment cannot breathe in love's atmosphere. Gratitude is the second cleansing power. Gratitude transforms what is heavy into holy. It takes what was meant for harm and turns it into wisdom. When you say thank you, for even small things, the divine multiplies them. Gratitude is light, and where there is light, no shadow can stay. Say gently, I am thankful for this moment. I am thankful for the lessons that brought me here. I am thankful for the divine love that always protects me. Even your home carries energy. So each morning or evening, speak blessing into your space. Walk through your rooms and say, this home is filled with light. Every corner glows with peace. Every wall reflects divine love. No negativity can enter here. And as you speak, energy responds. Your home becomes a temple. Your atmosphere becomes your sanctuary. Fear cannot survive where love is spoken daily. Sometimes, you may feel tired or heavy without reason. That is only the world's vibration brushing against yours. It cannot stay unless you invite it. So the moment you notice it, stop and affirms, I release what is not mine. I am pure light. I am filled with peace. I am surrounded by divine protection now. Fear always disguises itself as logic, but divine wisdom knows better. Fear says, be careful. The world is dangerous. Faith says, be calm. God is present. When you remember that divine presence is here, fear dissolves instantly. Breathe deeply and say, I breathe in peace. I breathe out fear. I breathe in faith. I breathe out doubt. I breathe in divine light. I breathe out all that no longer serves me. This is how you cleanse daily, not through struggle, but through remembrance. Every breath can be a prayer. Every word can be a blessing. Every moment can be a reset. And when people around you carry anger, gossip, or fear, you do not need to absorb it. You can bless them silently. Say within yourself, I send them light. I remain in peace. Their energy cannot enter my field. For love is not a reaction, it is creation. And your love creates a protective barrier stronger than any wall. You are not responsible for other people's darkness, but you are responsible for maintaining your own light. And when your light shines, it becomes contagious. It uplifts others without effort. So each night before you rest, cleanse again. Say, I release this day into divine hands. I forgive all. I bless all. I am renewed by peace. I sleep within the circle of divine love. And you will feel the air around you grow softer, the atmosphere lighter, your dreams calm and filled with guidance. Negativity cannot live in a heart that blesses. Fear cannot find a door in a home filled with prayer. Darkness cannot remain where love is repeated. Say gently, I am love. I am light. I am divine protection in motion. All that is not of God now leaves me forever. You are becoming untouchable not by hardness, but by holiness. You are learning that protection is not about walls. It is about waves of love moving through you and around you. This is your daily cleansing. Forgive, bless, thank, and release. The simple rhythm of the universe itself. Each time you do, your vibration rises. Each time you rise, the world rearranges to match your peace. Say one last time, I am cleansed by divine love. I am filled with divine peace. I am surrounded by divine light. Fear has no place in me, for I am one with God, now and forever. And so it is. And so it continues, pure, peaceful, and perfect, under grace and in divine protection. Beloved soul, nothing protects you more completely than the quiet certainty of faith. Faith is the invisible fortress, built without bricks and guarded without fear. Stillness is the gate that keeps confusion outside and peace within. When you are still inside, the world cannot touch you. When your heart is calm, you are beyond the reach of chaos. It is not the noise around you that creates danger. It is the noise within. And the moment you still that inner storm, divine law takes command. Say softly, my calm is my protection. My faith is my shield. My peace surrounds me like light. Fear rushes. Faith rests. Fear shouts. Faith whispers. Fear reacts. Faith remembers. In stillness, you remember that everything real is eternal and everything frightening is temporary. The universe moves in rhythm with your inner world. When you hurry, it mirrors haste. When you rest in trust, it mirrors grace. The secret of protection is therefore not resistance. It is relaxation in divine order. Say gently, I relax into divine order. I trust that every step I take is guided. Every path I walk is safe. Every outcome is already blessed. You are not protected because you fight. You are protected because you know. You are not safe because you hide. You are safe because you remember who walks beside you. The divine presence that created the stars holds your every breath. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. There is no gap between you and God. There is no distance between your need and its supply. The same power that turns night into dawn is working quietly in your favor. Faith is not pretending. Faith is perceiving what the senses cannot yet see. It is the calm awareness that says, even this is under grace. And when you live that way, protection becomes natural, effortless, constant. Say aloud, I walk by faith, not by fear. I walk in peace, not in pressure. I walk in divine confidence, for infinite intelligence governs my steps. When fear comes knocking, do not answer the door with panic. Answer with praise. Say, peace be still, and the vibration changes instantly. The energy of peace is recognized by the universe as divine authority. You have seen the ocean after a storm. Once the surface calms, the depth returns to silence. So it is with you. When your surface mind quiets, your spiritual depth governs again. Each breath is a key to stillness. Breathe in faith, breathe out tension. Breathe in peace, breathe out worry. With every breath, your aura becomes clearer, your protection stronger. Say softly, I breathe in divine love. I breathe out all fear. I breathe in calm assurance. I breathe out every doubt. Faith is the atmosphere of miracles. Stillness is the doorway through which they enter. In quietness, divine ideas reach you easily. Guidance that keeps you safe. Timing that prevents mistakes. Intuition that whispers, go now, or wait here. Trust those inner signals. They are the language of protection. When you are agitated, you cannot hear them. When you are still, you hear everything. Remember, the universe does not protect through force. It protects through flow. When you push, you step out of rhythm. When you trust, you are carried. Say gently, I am carried by divine flow. I do not push against life. Life supports me perfectly. The ego says, I must control. Spirit says, I am guided. The ego fears outcomes. Spirit knows all outcomes are divine. Your work is not to defend yourself. It is to maintain your vibration. A peaceful mind is a fortress. A grateful heart is its gate. Keep gratitude open and fear has no entrance. Say with faith, gratitude surrounds me like a wall of light. Peace fills me like a river. Nothing unloving can cross my field. Even when storms appear, stay still inside. The outer may shake, but the inner stays anchored. Say, this too shall pass, for divine order never fails. And it will pass, always. Do not let headlines or opinions dictate your peace. You are not of the world's vibration. You are of divine frequency. You are tuned to a station called love, and love cannot be harmed. Repeat slowly, I dwell in divine love. I rest in divine peace. I live under divine protection, now and always. Every morning, center yourself in stillness before touching the noise of the world. And every night, return to it before sleep. It will become your atmosphere, your unseen sanctuary. For the soul anchored in faith cannot fall. The heart anchored in stillness cannot be shaken. The mind anchored in divine love cannot be touched by fear. You are safe, not because you hope to be, but because you already are. Safety is your natural state. Faith simply reveals it. Say one final time, I am calm, I am confident, I am protected. Divine peace surrounds me, divine power sustains me, divine love guards me. All is well, and all will always be well. And so it is, and so it continues, quietly, powerfully, perfectly, under grace and in divine protection. Beloved soul, you live among many energies. Each day, you meet souls carrying their own weather, some radiant with joy, others clouded with fear. You cannot control the storms that others carry, but you can choose whether they rain upon your spirit. The wise do not harden, they harmonize. They stay open in love but covered in light. Say softly, I am kind, yet guarded in divine wisdom. I am open, yet protected by love. No outside energy can disturb my peace. You do not protect yourself by closing your heart. You protect yourself by expanding your light so fully that nothing unloving can enter. When your vibration is strong, low energy cannot match it. It simply falls away. This is the gentle power of spiritual immunity. You do not fight darkness, you outshine it. In every environment, remember you are the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the atmosphere, you do not absorb it. When you walk into a room, let your peace lead. Let your light speak before your words do. Say gently, my energy is sovereign. My light fills every space I enter. I am the peace that changes atmospheres. Sometimes you may feel tired or heavy after being around others. Do not judge yourself. Simply cleanse with love. Whisper, I release what is not mine. I bless every soul and return to peace. Instantly the energy lifts, for love does not cling, it clears. You are not here to fix anyone's vibration. You are here to maintain your own. When you stay centered, you become a silent teacher of balance. Those around you begin to calm, not because you speak loudly, but because your presence reminds them of peace. Say softly, I carry peace within me, and peace radiates around me. I am a blessing wherever I go, and I am always protected by divine love. There will always be voices that complain, energies that gossip, or spaces that feel tense. But divine law says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. That includes words, thoughts, or emotions directed in envy or anger. None of it can find you when you are anchored in love. When someone speaks in negativity, bless them silently. Say within, divine love is at work in this soul. Peace now fills this situation, and let it go. You are not responsible for healing their fear, only for protecting your faith. Energy moves by permission. It can only enter your field if you agree with it. So never agree with fear, insult, or limitation. When someone says, you're unlucky, you silently say, I am divinely favored. When someone says, times are hard, you affirm, I live under grace, not under struggle. And thus the vibration never sticks. Say it aloud now. Nothing negative can attach to me, for I do not agree with it. I only agree with love, peace, and divine supply. If ever you must go into a place that feels heavy, perhaps a workplace, a crowd, or a situation of tension, prepare first in spirit. Visualize yourself surrounded by golden light, extending 6 feet around your body like a soft, radiant aura. Then affirm, I am clothed in divine light. Wherever I go, this light precedes me, protects me, and harmonizes all things in my path. You will feel the difference. The air changes, people become calmer, events align in your favor. That is not imagination, that is spiritual law in action. Even when negativity is directed toward you deliberately, you do not need to defend. You only need to bless. Blessing breaks the vibration instantly. Say, I bless this situation with divine love. I release it to higher law. You will feel a weight lift because love dissolves what ego tries to hold. Beloved, remember, boundaries are not fear, they are wisdom. Even divine love uses discernment. You can be gentle yet firm, kind yet clear. When something or someone drains your peace, you are allowed to step back with grace. Say within, I choose peace over pleasing. I choose alignment over obligation. I am free to protect my energy with divine wisdom. Your time, your attention, your vibration are sacred. Spend them where peace grows, not where fear multiplies. You owe no one access to your light who only wishes to dim it. You are here to shine, not to shrink. Say softly, my peace is sacred. My energy is protected. My presence blesses the world without being drained by it. Even environments can carry residue of old emotions, offices, hospitals, cities, or homes. When you enter such places, silently bless them. Say, divine light fills this space. All fear and sadness dissolve in love. Peace reigns here now. Your presence will change the frequency. For wherever a child of God walks in awareness, that place becomes holy ground. You are the walking temple of divine energy. When your aura is clear, you are untouchable by harm. Negativity cannot survive in your field because your light refuses to feed it. Say gently, I am surrounded by divine fire. Only love can touch me. Only peace can dwell with me. Only light can find me. And when the day ends, release all energy back to source. Before sleep, say, I return all borrowed energy to its divine origin. I reclaim all my power cleansed in love. I rest in peace and wake renewed in light. Nothing remains heavy when you speak such truth. For the divine law of energy says only love is real. Everything else dissolves. You are safe in all places because you are aware in all moments. Your awareness of love is your shield. Your faith is your filter. Your peace is your power. Say once more, I am untouchable in my peace. I am invisible to harm. I am radiant in love. Wherever I go, divine protection goes before me. And so it is. And so it continues, gently, powerfully, eternally, under grace and in perfect divine order. Beloved soul, divine protection does not only surround you, it speaks through you. It is not only a wall of light, it is a voice of wisdom within that guides your every step. That voice is quiet, calm, and sure. It never rushes, never fears, never condemns. It simply knows. And when you learn to listen to it, you walk through life like one guided by an unseen hand. Say softly, I am guided by divine intelligence. I hear the voice of God clearly. I am always in the right place at the right time. Every moment, infinite intelligence is speaking, through thoughts, feelings, signs, and timing. It may arrive as a gentle nudge. Turn left instead of right. It may come as a delay that saves you from harm. It may appear as a sudden peace when you think of one choice, and an unease when you think of another. That is divine intuition, your inner compass of protection. You were never meant to guess your way through life. The same power that created worlds walks with you, whispering your next step. You need only be still enough to listen. Say gently, I am receptive to divine direction. I do not rush, I allow divine wisdom to lead me. When fear shouts, intuition is drowned. When faith listens, intuition speaks. That is why peace is the atmosphere where guidance can be heard. You cannot hear the music of the divine if your mind is filled with noise. So silence is not emptiness, it is alignment. Many call it instinct. Florence called it divine leadings. You feel it as a pull, a knowing, a quiet yes or no. And when you honor it, protection unfolds like a golden path before your feet. Say softly, I trust my divine guidance. My intuition is the voice of God within me. I hear clearly, I move wisely, I walk safely. When you ignore that still voice, confusion increases. But when you obey it, miracles follow. Sometimes divine protection delays you to protect you. Sometimes it reroutes you to bless you. Sometimes it closes one door so that you may find the right one easily. The ego calls it frustration, the soul calls it favor. You are never late, never lost, never forgotten, only guided. Every seeming detour is divine timing at work. When you walk by faith, you never miss your turn. Say with gratitude, divine timing is my friend. Divine guidance is my constant companion. Every delay is protection. Every redirection is grace. The more you trust this guidance, the clearer it becomes. Like tuning a radio to a higher frequency, the more peace you hold, the louder the divine signal gets. Soon you will realize that nothing surprises you anymore. You sense everything before it happens. You will walk through your days with quiet assurance, saying, I feel it, I know it, I am led. And that is divine protection in its highest form. Intuitive awareness guided by love. There is a prayer Florence once spoke. Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let every plan of evil be reversed in my favor. Let every obstacle become a stepping stone. I am divinely protected, divinely guided, divinely prospered. This prayer works because it acknowledges that nothing happens to you. It happens for you. Say softly, I am divinely guided to safety, success, and peace. I cannot miss what is mine. I cannot lose what is meant for me. When confusion tries to enter, pause and ask, does this feel peaceful? If peace speaks, move. If it does not, wait. Peace is your compass. God never guides through fear. Fear says, hurry. Faith says, rest. It's handled. Your spiritual protection is intelligent. It does not always remove challenge. Sometimes it redirects energy so you grow wiser, stronger, and safer next time. Nothing is random in divine order. Everything is perfectly placed. Say now, everything in my life is divinely arranged. I am at peace with divine timing. I trust my intuition completely. Even in uncertain situations, your inner voice never fails you. If you ever feel uneasy, do not dismiss it. That is your soul's alarm bell ringing softly. You may not know why at the time, but divine protection always explains itself later. You will look back and say, something told me not to go there. That something was someone. Infinite intelligence watching over you. You can also invite guidance through simple affirmation each morning. Infinite Spirit, open my mind to receive divine instruction. Guide my every thought, word, and action. Let me move only when you move. When you begin your day like this, every choice becomes protected by wisdom. You will find yourself calling at the right time, meeting the right person, taking the right turn, saying the right words. And all of it feels effortless. That is divine protection operating through divine guidance. Say with peace, I am divinely directed. I am never alone. I am guided by perfect intelligence that knows the way and keeps me safe. Even in times of confusion, say, Infinite Spirit, make the way clear. Then stop thinking and listen. The answer will come quietly. A word, a thought, a feeling, a sign. It will come when you are calm, never when you are frantic. The universe does not shout, it whispers. Beloved, divine guidance is not rare. It is constant. You do not need to chase it, you need only clear the noise that blocks it. That noise is fear, doubt, worry. The clearing is faith, silence, gratitude. Say softly, I am quiet, therefore I can hear. I am faithful, therefore I am led. I am peaceful, therefore I am protected. And when you follow that inner voice, everything aligns, timing, people, places, and outcomes. Life becomes smoother because you are no longer steering alone. You are co-driving with the infinite. And divine intelligence never makes a wrong turn. Repeat this daily truth: I am guided, guarded, and governed by divine love. Every step I take is directed. Every move I make is protected. I walk in wisdom and I arrive in peace. You are not guessing your path anymore. You are gliding through divine order. And that is the safest place you will ever be. Say one last time: I am one with divine intelligence. I hear clearly, I act wisely, I move safely. My intuition is my protection and my peace is my proof. And so it is. And so it continues, quietly, perfectly, and forever under grace and divine guidance. Beloved soul, protection is not an event. It is a way of being. It is not a moment of prayer. It is a vibration you carry as you walk through life. You are not protected because you say one affirmation. You are protected because you live in the consciousness of divine love every day. Every morning you awaken, divine light greets you. It says, "Here I am again, pure, ready, strong. Let's begin." And your first thought becomes your shield for the day. If you begin with gratitude, you open the gates of grace. If you begin with fear, you open the door to confusion. So choose gratitude first. Say softly, I begin this day in divine love. I am guided, protected, and blessed in all that I do. Love is the truest form of protection, because love dissolves everything that is not like itself. When you walk in love, no anger can reach you, no hate can harm you, no jealousy can stay near you. Love neutralizes every lesser vibration. It transforms attack into understanding, envy into admiration, fear into peace. Say gently, I walk in love, and love walks in me. I am surrounded by love, therefore I am surrounded by safety. Each day you move through the world as a carrier of energy. You are not here to absorb, you are here to radiate. Your light does not depend on the weather of the world. It shines because it is divine. The more love you radiate, the more protection surrounds you. The more gratitude you express, the more abundance follows you. The more peace you hold, the more heaven lives within you. Say quietly, I radiate peace. I radiate gratitude. I radiate divine light wherever I go. The great secret is this: protection is not defense. It is divine presence. You do not have to hide from darkness. You simply remember who you are. You are the light of God in human form. When you walk in awareness of that truth, fear cannot recognize you. You are invisible to harm because your energy is transparent to love. Say softly, only love can find me. Only peace can reach me. Only blessings can touch my life. When you wake, see yourself covered in white gold light, pure, bright, gentle, and alive. Let it extend through your home, your work, your family, your future. This is not imagination. This is creation. Every thought of love is a brushstroke on the canvas of divine protection. Before you step into your day, say, divine light goes before me. Divine love surrounds me. Divine power sustains me. Divine wisdom guides me. Then go forward knowing you are covered, supplied, and secure. Throughout the day, when tension rises or fear tries to whisper, stop for a moment. Take a breath and return to the truth. You can say quietly, peace, be still. And at once, the vibration shifts. Because peace obeys those who speak it. Say softly, peace goes before me. Peace surrounds me. Peace follows me. I am the vibration of divine calm. As evening comes, give thanks for every moment of protection that unfolded silently, the accidents avoided, the calm you kept, the gentle timing that worked in your favor. Nothing was coincidence. It was divine order in motion. Say with gratitude, thank you, Infinite Spirit, for guiding me today. Thank you for unseen help and constant grace. Thank you that I am always safe, always loved, always free. When you sleep, rest in that awareness. Your body sleeps, but your spirit stays awake in divine harmony. Even in dreams, love watches over you. You are never unguarded. You are never unprotected. You are wrapped in light from which you were created. And when a new day dawns, You rise again within that same light, renewed, restored, and ready to shine. For divine protection never takes a day off. It is not something you earn, it is something you remember. Say gently, I live in remembrance of who I am, a soul of light, a vessel of love, a being of infinite peace. When others worry, you remain calm. When others argue, you remain silent in strength. When others fear, you respond with faith. For you are not reacting to the world anymore. You are radiating heaven. You are now the calm in the chaos, the blessing in the crowd, the light in the room. And that light itself protects you. Because love always returns to its source, and you are that source made visible. Say softly, I am light, I am love, I am divine protection in motion. Nothing can disturb the peace of my soul. Now imagine your life covered in waves of golden light extending in every direction. Past, present, and future. Like sunlight through water. That is the power of divine consciousness surrounding you at all times. You are safe in it, you are supported by it, and you are sustained through it. Every prayer you've spoken, every affirmation you've repeated, has built an unbreakable wall of peace around your life. And this peace goes with you wherever you go, not just for today, but forever. Say one final time, I live in light, I walk in love, I move in peace. I am forever protected, forever guided, forever blessed. Under grace and in perfect divine order, it is done. And so it is, and so it continues. Not as words, but as the very vibration of your being. You are the light, and the light is always safe.
You've felt it, haven't you? That magnetic pull toward something greater. Something that whispers of possibilities beyond your current circumstances. You've noticed how certain people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, opportunities flowing to them like rivers finding the sea. Meanwhile, you've been working hard, trying every strategy, following every formula, yet prosperity feels like it's dancing just beyond your reach. What if I told you that the difference between those who live in abundance and those who struggle has nothing to do with luck, connections, or even talent? What if the secret lies in something far more profound? Something that ancient wisdom keepers understood, but modern society has forgotten. You are standing at the threshold of a frequency shift that will transform not just your bank account, but your entire relationship with prosperity. The universe is preparing to reveal to you the billionaire frequency, a vibrational state that magnetizes wealth, opportunity, and abundance in ways that will astound you. The truth is, you've been tuning into scarcity frequencies your entire life, not because you chose to, but because that's what the world taught you to do. Today, we're changing the channel. Today, you learn to tune into the frequency that billionaires naturally operate from, the frequency that turns ordinary people into extraordinary wealth creators. You are not imagining the restlessness you feel. You are not imagining the sense that your current financial reality doesn't match your inner knowing. Divine intelligence has been preparing you for this moment, when you finally understand that wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you become. The first recognition that signals your awakening to the billionaire frequency is this. You begin to understand that abundance is your natural state. Most people approach wealth like beggars approaching a fortress, hoping to somehow convince the guards to let them in. But those who operate on the billionaire frequency know a secret that changes everything. They are not outsiders seeking entry. They are the rightful inheritors of prosperity, returning to claim what has always been theirs. When you truly grasp this, something fundamental shifts in your energy. You stop asking, how can I get rich? And start asking, how can I express the wealth that already exists within me? This isn't positive thinking or self-delusion. This is spiritual physics. The universe is infinite abundance, and you are not separate from the universe. You are an expression of it. Think of David from the Bible, the shepherd boy who faced the giant Goliath. He didn't approach that battle as someone who hoped to win. He approached it as someone who already knew the victory was his, because he understood his connection to something greater than himself. The billionaire frequency operates from this same certainty. You approach financial challenges not as obstacles to overcome, but as opportunities to demonstrate the prosperity that flows through you. This shift in identity creates what I call the magnetic effect. When you know you belong in abundance, abundance recognizes you. Opportunities begin appearing in your path. People start offering you deals, partnerships, and investments. Ideas flow to you with startling clarity. This isn't luck. This is the universe responding to your new frequency. Another way this energy of abundance manifests is through your relationship with money itself. Most people have been programmed to see money as scarce, difficult to obtain, and hard to keep. They approach financial transactions with fear, clutching their resources like someone protecting the last candle in a dark room. But when you tune into the wealth frequency, you begin to see money as energy, infinite, flowing, and renewable. Those who operate from this frequency understand that money is not a thing to be hoarded, but a force to be circulated. They give generously because they know that giving creates space for receiving. They invest boldly because they understand that taking inspired action multiplies their resources. They spend wisely, but without fear, because they know that more will always flow to them. This is why you've noticed that the wealthiest people often seem the most relaxed about money. They've discovered what the ancient wisdom teaches, that the source of supply is infinite, and their connection to that source is unbreakable. When you truly understand this, you stop operating from scarcity and start operating from abundance. The vibrational shift is immediate and profound. Esther from the Bible, the woman who became queen and saved her people, understood this principle perfectly. She didn't approach the king as someone begging for favor. She prepared herself, aligned with her purpose, and approached with the confidence of someone who knew she was exactly where she needed to be. This energy of prosperity consciousness requires the same level of inner knowing and outer preparation. You may also notice that tuning into this wealth vibration changes how you perceive problems. Where others see obstacles, you begin to see opportunities. Where others see limitations, you begin to see possibilities. This isn't naive optimism. This is spiritual intelligence. You understand that every challenge contains within it the seed of equivalent or greater benefit. The most successful entrepreneurs and investors have mastered this principle. They don't avoid problems, they seek them out because they know that problems are opportunities in disguise. The bigger the problem they can solve, the greater the wealth they can create. This is why billionaires often seem to thrive during economic downturns, while others struggle. They've learned to see what others cannot see. That disruption creates opportunity for those who are prepared. This perspective shift is crucial because it moves you from a reactive mindset to a creative mindset. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change, you begin to create the circumstances you desire. Instead of hoping for opportunities to appear, you begin to generate opportunities through your own vision and action. This energy that attracts massive wealth also transforms your relationship with time. Most people trade time for money, believing that wealth requires endless hours of grinding work. But those who operate from this abundance consciousness understand that wealth is created through leverage, not labor. They focus on creating systems, building assets, and developing multiple streams of income that work for them even when they're not working. This doesn't mean they don't work hard. It means they work intelligently. They understand the difference between being busy and being productive. They know that 1 hour spent in alignment with their highest purpose is worth more than a week spent in scattered activity. They've learned to tune into the frequency of inspired action, where effort feels effortless and results multiply exponentially. Solomon, known as the wisest and wealthiest king in biblical history, was given the opportunity to ask for anything. He asked for wisdom. That wisdom led to unprecedented prosperity because he understood that wealth flows from understanding, not from struggle. His highest frequency operates from this same principle: wisdom first, wealth as a natural consequence. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of this vibration of full abundance is how it transforms your relationship with failure. Most people fear failure because they see it as evidence that they're not meant for success. But those who operate from this wealth consciousness understand that failure is simply feedback. information that guides them toward their next breakthrough. They don't take failure personally because they understand that their worth isn't determined by their results. They see setbacks as setups for comebacks. They understand that every successful person has a history of failures that taught them what they needed to know to succeed. This perspective keeps them resilient, persistent, and ultimately unstoppable. This energy of prosperity also attracts what I call divine connections. You begin to meet people who can help you in ways you never imagined. Mentors appear at exactly the right time. Partners show up with complementary skills. Investors emerge with resources you need. These aren't coincidences. They're the universe's way of supporting your alignment with abundance. When you operate from this wealth vibration, you become a magnet for others who operate from the same energy. Like attracts like, and wealth consciousness attracts wealth consciousness. This creates a multiplying effect where your network becomes your net worth in the most literal sense. Now, I want you to anchor your own personal transformation with a powerful declaration. Pause right now and write this in the comments. I embody the vibration of infinite abundance. When you write this down, you're not just making a statement, you're creating a vibrational anchor. The act of writing activates different neural pathways than just thinking or speaking. It creates a physical record of your commitment to this new energy, and the universe responds to commitment with confirmation. This abundance consciousness also changes how you handle money decisions. Instead of making choices based on fear or lack, you begin to make choices based on abundance and possibility. You ask different questions. Instead of, can I afford this? You ask, how can I afford this? Instead of, what if I lose money? You ask, what if this multiplies my wealth? This shift in questioning opens up possibilities that were invisible before. Solutions appear where you once saw only problems. Resources materialize from unexpected sources. Your mind becomes a creativity machine, generating ideas and strategies that align with your prosperity goals. The key is understanding that this energy of prosperity isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming who you really are. Underneath all the programming, conditioning, and fear-based thinking lies your true nature, which is inherently abundant. Every human being has this potential because every human being is connected to the infinite source of all supply. When you align with this truth, when you tune into this wealth vibration, you don't just change your financial situation, you change your entire life. Relationships improve because you're no longer operating from neediness. Health improves because you're no longer stressed about survival. Creativity flows because you're no longer blocked by limitation thinking. This vibration of full abundance is also characterized by generosity. Those who truly understand abundance know that giving is the secret to receiving. They give not to get, but because giving is an expression of their prosperity consciousness. They understand that the universe is constantly giving to them, and they participate in that flow by giving to others. This creates what spiritual teachers call the circulation of prosperity. When you give freely, you signal to the universe that you have more than enough. The universe then responds by ensuring that you always have more than enough to give. This is not manipulation. This is spiritual law as reliable as gravity. You are not imagining the changes that are already beginning in your life. You are not imagining the new ideas that are flowing to you. You are not imagining the opportunities that are starting to appear. The universe is responding to your willingness to tune into a higher frequency of prosperity consciousness. This wealth consciousness also transforms your relationship with competition. Most people see business and wealth creation as a zero-sum game where someone must lose for someone else to win. But those who operate from this abundance vibration understand that prosperity is infinite. There's enough for everyone, and collaboration creates more wealth than competition ever could. This understanding opens up possibilities for partnerships, joint ventures, and collaborative projects that multiply everyone's success. Instead of trying to defeat others, you begin to look for ways to create win-win situations. Instead of hoarding opportunities, you begin to share them, knowing that what you give away returns to you multiplied. The transformation that occurs when you truly embrace this highest frequency is profound and permanent. You don't just have more money, you become a different person. You become someone who naturally attracts abundance, who effortlessly creates value, who intuitively knows how to turn ideas into income. This is your birthright. This is what you were born to experience. The struggle, the limitation, the financial stress, these are not your true nature. They are simply frequencies you've been tuned into by a world that doesn't understand the spiritual laws of prosperity. But now you know. Now you understand. This energy that attracts massive wealth isn't just available to a chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to tune into it. It's available to you right now, in this moment, as you make the decision to align with your abundant nature. The question isn't whether you can access this vibration. You already are accessing it simply by recognizing its existence. The question is whether you're willing to live from it, to make decisions from it, to build your life around it. You have been positioned for a level of prosperity that will surprise even you. The universe has been orchestrating circumstances, arranging connections, and preparing opportunities that will soon become apparent. Your only job is to maintain your alignment with this wealth consciousness and take inspired action when guidance comes. This is not a someday possibility. This is a right now reality. This energy of prosperity is not something you achieve, it's something you embody. The moment you decide to tune into it, it becomes your operating system. The moment you align with it, it begins to transform every area of your life. You are not meant to struggle with money. You are not meant to worry about survival. You are not meant to settle for less than your heart's desires. You are meant to live in abundance, to create wealth, to experience the joy of prosperity in all its forms. The billionaire frequency is calling to you now. Can you feel it? Can you sense the shift that's available to you? This is your moment. This is your time. This is your energy of prosperity to claim. You are destined for wealth beyond your current imagination, and that destiny begins with your decision to tune into the highest frequency right now. Before you go, I want to leave you with a comprehensive abundance affirmation. Speak these words with conviction, feel their truth in your being, and watch as your reality aligns with your declaration. I am one with infinite supply. Wealth flows to me easily and effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources. I am a magnet for prosperity, divine opportunities, and perfect right action. My mind is illumined with perfect ideas, and I have the wisdom and courage to act upon divine guidance. I attract my perfect supply through my perfect people at the perfect time. I give fearlessly and receive fearlessly. Money is my faithful servant, circulating through me to bless all whom I encounter. I am worthy of unlimited abundance because I am a perfect expression of divine intelligence itself. Every day, in every way, my good expands, and my demonstration reflects my God-given inheritance. I embody perfect prosperity now and always. Water brings wealth. The river flows, the rain falls, the ocean tides move, and in their rhythm lies the secret of prosperity. Water is the universal carrier of abundance, the invisible hand that nourishes fields, fills granaries, and quickens the life of nations. When water flows freely, there is fruitfulness, there is growth, there is wealth. When it is blocked, stagnation appears, and life becomes parched. The same law applies to the spirit, for man's life is also a stream, meant to circulate, to give, to receive, to flow without fear or resistance. Water teaches us that supply is endless. A drop may appear small, yet it is connected to the vastness of oceans. So too is every coin, every opportunity, every blessing. It is a drop connected to the infinite sea of abundance. The mistake of man is to see the drop and forget the ocean. He clutches the small and fears loss, yet the law of water declares as it flows out, more flows in. The spring that gives never runs dry, for its source is eternal. Wealth does not come by hoarding, but by circulation, just as rivers keep their purity by movement, not by standing still. Observe the farmer who trusts the rain. He scatters his seed in the dark earth, knowing water will awaken it. He does not dig it up in doubt, nor cry out in fear of drought, but lives in faith that the law of growth cannot fail. So it is with wealth. One must give with confidence, sell with certainty, and know that life returns multiplied. To withhold is to dry the ground of one's own harvest. To release is to invite the river of increase. Water also teaches the lesson of adaptability. It takes the form of the vessel it enters, whether a cup, a jar, or a mighty lake, yet it loses none of its essence. Wealth, too, is not limited to coins or notes. It may appear as ideas, opportunities, health, friendships, or doors opening at the right hour. When one insists it must come in only one form, one limits the stream. But when one allows it to take its own way, wealth appears in unexpected channels, as sure as rain finds its path to the sea. There is also cleansing in water. A rushing stream washes away the old leaves, the broken branches, the dust of yesterday. Prosperity comes when the channels of thought are cleared of fear, resentment, and doubt. Just as muddy water settles when undisturbed, so a mind at peace reflects the clear truth of supply. When the mind flows with gratitude, forgiveness, and expectancy, wealth rushes in as naturally as rivers to the ocean. Thus, water is the emblem of wealth itself, flowing, abundant, adaptable, purifying, and unending. To align with it is to step into the law of circulation, where giving and receiving are one, and the tide of prosperity never fails. Water symbolizes endless circulation of abundance. To understand this truth, one must look at the way water moves through the world, never ceasing, never clinging, always flowing from one form into another, and yet never diminished. It evaporates from the sea, rises into the clouds, falls as rain, seeps into the soil, springs up as fountains, gathers in rivers, returns to the ocean, and begins again. This cycle is unbroken, eternal, and generous, offering life to every living thing. The lesson is clear: abundance is not a possession to be grasped, but a flow to be entered. The moment one sees water as a mirror of wealth, the mind awakens to a higher law, the law that says supply cannot end. For it circulates in perfect rhythm, carrying prosperity wherever it moves. When one watches a river, one sees that it never worries whether there will be more water tomorrow. It simply flows, confident that the source is unceasing. In this same way, life asks us to trust that there is always more wealth, more opportunity, more good, ready to flow into our lives if we do not obstruct the channel. The human error is in believing that abundance is limited, that once spent it may not return. This belief dries the river of prosperity, for thought is the channel through which abundance flows. To think shortage is to dam the stream, but to think circulation is to invite the endless current of increase. Water teaches the fearless truth that there is no end to supply, for the source is infinite and eternal. Consider the ocean, vast, immeasurable, teeming with life. Every river gives itself to the ocean, and yet the ocean is never full. Every wave that crashes on the shore is instantly replaced by another, and another, and another. So it is with wealth. Each gift, each act of generosity, each expenditure, when aligned with trust, returns multiplied. Because the source is not the coin or the hand that gives it, but the infinite reservoir behind it all. Just as the tide rises without effort, so abundance rises when one aligns with the truth of circulation. The wealth of the ocean is not hoarded but expressed, for it sends forth clouds to bring rain, which fills rivers, which return again. Thus, wealth moves in a circle, not a straight line. A stagnant pond, cut off from flow, becomes murky and lifeless, breeding decay. Yet a stream that flows freely sparkles with clarity and sustains multitudes. This too is the law of prosperity. When one clutches tightly, fearing to lose, wealth grows stale, opportunities dry up, and joy is replaced with burden. But when one allows giving and receiving to move in balance, life stays fresh, creative, and fruitful. Water never asks, "What if I give too much of myself?" It pours down from the clouds, it rushes across valleys, it seeps into roots, and still it is renewed. So also must man trust that in giving, he does not empty himself, but connects more deeply to the unending flow of abundance. Every culture has known the sacredness of water. Ancient temples placed fountains at their gates to symbolize cleansing and renewal. For they knew water carried more than refreshment. It carried the symbol of eternal supply. Farmers prayed for rain not only for their crops, but as a sign of divine favor, a reminder that the heavens were still open. that abundance was still flowing. Traders and merchants built their cities on rivers, knowing that flowing water meant flowing wealth. The pattern repeats across all ages and lands. Where water flows, prosperity blooms. This is not coincidence but law. For water is the visible expression of circulation, and circulation is the heartbeat of abundance. One may look also at the smallest drop and still find the lesson. A single raindrop falls into a puddle and creates ripples that expand outward without end. So it is with wealth. One act of generosity, however small, expands far beyond what the eye can see. It touches lives, creates opportunities, awakens gratitude, and returns multiplied. The one who sees this truth does not measure their giving by its size but by its flow. For a drop is not less significant than a river when connected to the source. The drop is proof that the ocean is near, just as the coin in one's hand is proof of infinite supply waiting to be released. The endless circulation of water also shows that abundance does not belong to one alone but to all. Rain falls on fields without choosing one over another. Rivers pass through nations without concern for boundaries drawn by men. The tide belongs not to one shore but to the entire earth. Likewise, wealth is not the possession of a few but the inheritance of all. For it flows through channels seen and unseen, touching each life in its own way. To claim monopoly over it is to resist its nature, but to recognize its universality is to align oneself with its true movement. In sharing, one enters the flow; in hoarding, one steps out of it. There is also the truth that water follows the path of least resistance. It does not argue with stone or mountain, but finds the way around, under, or through. In the same manner, wealth seeks the open channel. When the mind is filled with fear, doubt, and resistance, wealth cannot enter, for the channel is blocked. But when the mind is clear, trusting, and expectant, wealth flows as naturally as water down a slope. The law is effortless. Open the way, and the stream will find you. No forcing is needed, no struggle required. Abundance is not made but allowed, for it is already flowing, already moving, already seeking its outlet. To meditate on water is to meditate on wealth. Its endless circulation whispers the secret that life is not about accumulation but flow, not about holding but releasing, not about scarcity but endless supply. The rain that falls today has fallen for centuries past and will fall for centuries to come, nourishing countless generations. So it is with abundance. What sustains one will sustain another, for the source never runs dry. The one who understands this truth does not fear loss, for he knows there is always more, just as the river knows it will always be fed by the rain, and the rain knows it will always return from the sea. Wealth flows through giving, not hoarding. The very nature of abundance is movement, and when that movement is embraced, prosperity multiplies. When wealth is clutched tightly, when the hand is closed in fear of loss, circulation halts, and what was once living becomes stagnant. To give is to keep the channel open, to let the current of supply flow freely, knowing that in releasing one is not emptying but making space for greater increase. The one who understands this principle no longer fears generosity, for he knows that wealth, like water, must be poured out in order to return. A tree gives fruit without hesitation. It does not question whether the branches will again be heavy with harvest. It yields freely, season after season, because the law of growth is certain. So too must one give of wealth, talent, kindness, and service, knowing that every act returns in multiplied form. The soil does not resent the seed planted within it. It receives, nourishes, and returns a harvest far greater than what was sown. When one gives with trust, the same law is fulfilled, for giving is not loss but multiplication. Hoarding, on the other hand, is born of fear. It whispers that there may not be enough tomorrow, so one must grasp tightly today. Yet this very act of holding interrupts the flow, just as damming a stream can dry the fields downstream. A hoarded coin grows cold, locked away from circulation, unable to do its work. But a coin released into the world becomes bread on a table, clothing on a child, wages for a worker, profit for a merchant, and eventually, it circles back, carrying with it unseen blessings. The wealth that is given expands, but the wealth that is hoarded diminishes. One can observe this in nature. The clouds give rain to the earth, and the earth returns vapor to the skies. This eternal exchange sustains all life. If the clouds withheld their rain, the earth would wither, crops would fail, and even the clouds themselves would eventually disperse into nothingness. Giving keeps the cycle alive. In the same way, when wealth is circulated through generosity, investment, and trust, the cycle of abundance is maintained. When it is withheld, both giver and receiver suffer, for the chain of prosperity is broken. A farmer does not keep every seed in his storehouse, fearing famine. He knows that by planting he is not losing, but ensuring future harvests. Each seed released becomes many. Likewise, the wealth that is shared, whether in material form or in acts of service, multiplies in return. The one who gives from a heart of trust stands in harmony with the law of circulation. The one who withholds out of fear isolates himself from the very source of increase. True wealth is never about possession alone, but about movement. A river that flows enriches everything along its banks: trees, animals, villages, cities. A river that is blocked creates floods in one place and drought in another. The movement of wealth is meant to bring balance, nourishing lives, creating opportunities, building communities. The giver becomes a channel through which the abundance of life expresses itself. To refuse to give is to step outside of alignment with this universal principle. Even in the smallest act of giving, the law is present. A kind word given in sincerity may open doors of friendship that lead to unexpected blessings. A meal shared with another may ripple into gratitude that returns in ways unseen. A gift of money, when given without fear, may return in the form of a new opportunity, a profitable idea, or support at the moment it is most needed. Giving sets forces in motion that extend beyond the act itself. Hoarding stops those forces and isolates one from the living flow of prosperity. The heart knows this truth instinctively. There is a natural joy in giving, a sense of expansion, a feeling that life has grown richer in the very act of release. That joy is the soul recognizing alignment with universal law. Fear resists it, whispering that giving diminishes, but truth declares the opposite: giving multiplies. The open hand is never empty for long, for it invites the flow of new supply. The closed fist may seem secure, but it holds only what it already has, and no more can enter. History itself shows that societies that embraced circulation flourished, while those that hoarded crumbled. Cities that traded, shared, and invested in their people grew into centers of prosperity. Those that feared loss, withholding resources and clinging to wealth, became brittle and fell. The law of giving is not limited to individuals, but applies to nations, communities, and generations. Prosperity grows where circulation thrives. To give is also an act of trust. It acknowledges that wealth does not come from the coin in hand, but from the source behind it. The farmer trusts the earth. The sailor trusts the wind. The giver trusts the law of abundance. In that trust, doors open that would otherwise remain shut. Opportunities appear, assistance arrives, and wealth takes forms beyond expectation. Hoarding, by contrast, is an act of distrust, a denial of the infinite nature of supply. It limits vision, closes doors, and creates the very scarcity it fears. There is also an unseen dimension to giving. The energy of generosity multiplies in ways the mind cannot track. A gift given in love carries with it a vibration that attracts further love. An offering made in faith carries a magnetic quality that draws opportunities into the giver's life. Circulation is not merely physical but spiritual, touching realms beyond what the eye can measure. Wealth flows not just through currency, but through ideas, connections, inspiration, and timing. Giving activates this unseen network of return. Water does not ask where it flows, nor demand assurance that it will return. It pours itself out, knowing the cycle is eternal. In this, it teaches the law of giving. Wealth must move. It must be shared, invested, released into circulation. To do so is to honor the truth that abundance was never meant to stagnate. Every act of giving is like casting bread upon the waters, certain that it will return in multiplied form, carried by currents unseen. The more freely one gives, the more freely one receives, for life itself delights in circulation, and wealth is its instrument. Adaptability invites unexpected prosperity. Life, like water, does not demand rigid conformity but rewards flexibility and openness. Water flows effortlessly around obstacles, finding its path even when rocks block the way, cliffs rise before it, or valleys twist its course. It does not resist, it adjusts. It does not fret over how the journey will unfold, it simply moves, and in doing so sustains life wherever it travels. Wealth, like water, comes most easily to those who can adapt to circumstances, who are willing to flow with change, and who trust that the channels of opportunity can take forms beyond expectation. Resistance limits movement, but adaptability opens doors, creates pathways, and allows blessings to appear in forms that the rigid mind could never anticipate. When one clings too tightly to a single idea of what wealth should look like, one closes off the avenues through which prosperity might flow. The coin in hand, the job title, the fixed plan, the rigid schedule, these may all serve as obstacles if held with attachment. Life, in its infinite intelligence, delivers abundance in ways that the narrow mind might initially overlook. A change in career, a new friendship, an unexpected investment, a sudden move. All can bring wealth in ways that obey the universal law of supply, yet bypass the rigid expectations of the ego. Flexibility allows one to recognize these channels and step into them, whereas rigidity blocks the flow. Consider the river once again. It does not collapse when a boulder falls in its path. Instead, it curves, bends, and flows around, under, or even over the obstruction. It adjusts without hesitation, without complaint, without doubt. The river's flexibility is what allows it to reach the sea. In the same manner, prosperity flows to those who can adapt their plans, shift their perspectives, and embrace change without fear. Wealth often arrives in forms that are not immediately recognizable. Only a mind trained in adaptability can perceive the hidden gifts, opportunities, and unexpected avenues that life presents. Adaptability also requires courage. To release a fixed idea of what is necessary or acceptable is to step into uncertainty. Many fear the unknown, preferring the comfort of routine or the illusion of control. Yet the law of abundance requires movement, not stagnation. And life rewards the bold who can bend without breaking. The person who clings to outdated strategies, insists on one way of achieving success, or resists innovation may find wealth elusive, for prosperity is dynamic, ever-changing, and often appears in forms that challenge preconceived notions. Flexibility is not compromise, it is alignment with the flow of life. In practical terms, adaptability can take many forms. It may mean learning new skills to meet changing demands, shifting investments in response to economic currents, or approaching problems with creative solutions rather than fixed routines. It may involve changing one's mindset about what constitutes success, recognizing that wealth is not confined to material possessions, but may appear as knowledge, health, influence, or relationships. Each time one adjusts to circumstances rather than resisting them, one opens the door for unexpected prosperity to enter. Resistance, by contrast, creates friction that slows or halts the flow. The principle extends beyond personal action into relationships and communities. Businesses that thrive are those that respond to market shifts, consumer preferences, and technological innovation. Communities that prosper adapt to changing environmental, social, and economic conditions. Inflexibility leads to decline, whereas responsiveness and adaptability bring opportunity and growth. The same law applies individually. Those who embrace change, who adjust their attitudes, behaviors, and strategies, attract resources, ideas, and partnerships that they could not have anticipated. Adaptability also fosters creativity, which is a hidden form of wealth. When one is open to change, new ideas arise naturally. One sees solutions that were previously invisible, discovers opportunities in challenges, and turns obstacles into stepping stones. Wealth is not only a function of what is already known or possessed, but also of the ability to perceive and act upon possibilities. The adaptive mind is like a fertile field ready to receive seeds from unexpected sources. Rigidity is like barren soil, closed off to the flow of inspiration. Even in financial matters, the principle is clear. investments that are diversified, plans that include contingencies, and approaches that allow for adjustment are more likely to yield returns than rigid, single-minded strategies. Opportunities often appear when least expected: a sudden offer, a chance meeting, a pivot in the market, and only those prepared to adapt can take full advantage. To insist that wealth must come through one narrow channel is to block other avenues and limit the potential for abundance. Flexibility creates room for surprise, serendipity, and expansion. The spiritual dimension of adaptability is equally powerful. Life rewards the flexible heart that can let go of attachment, release judgment, and accept the unknown. Wealth is not always in the form of material gain. It can appear as peace, joy, insight, or relationships. By being adaptable in expectation and open to life's unfolding, one allows these non-material forms of abundance to flow as freely as money or possessions. Resistance, worry, or insistence on a fixed form limits the richness of experience, while adaptability allows all forms of wealth to manifest. Even adversity contains the seed of prosperity when met with flexibility. A sudden loss, a change in circumstances, or a challenge that seems insurmountable can redirect the flow of life toward new avenues. Like water navigating a rocky gorge, those who bend with circumstances discover hidden streams, fertile valleys, and new routes to abundance. Those who resist become trapped, their energy dissipated in fruitless struggle, while those who adapt harness the same situation to create opportunity, growth, and reward. The law of adaptability emphasizes that prosperity is not a fixed destination but a dynamic flow. The mind that is willing to pivot, the heart that can release rigid expectations, and the hand that can take new forms of action align with life's current. Just as water nourishes every valley, it touches without demanding the landscape change to suit it. Wealth flows to those who can adjust without losing essence. Flexibility is not submission, it is mastery of circumstance. A conscious choice to work with life rather than against it, and the secret pathway through which unexpected prosperity travels. Through adaptability, the mind learns to see beyond limitation, the heart learns to embrace uncertainty, and the spirit discovers the endless avenues through which life expresses abundance. The one who can flow, bend, and adjust in alignment with opportunity does not merely survive. They thrive in ways that the rigid, the fearful, and the resistant cannot imagine. Each obstacle becomes a lesson, each challenge a guide, and each change a portal to wealth in forms that defy expectation. Clearing thoughts creates channels for supply. The mind, like a riverbed, must be free from obstruction for abundance to flow. When fear, doubt, resentment, or anger fill the mental landscape, wealth encounters resistance, and the current of prosperity slows or diverts entirely. Just as water cannot pass through a clogged channel, opportunities and blessings cannot reach the one whose mind is congested with negative thought patterns. The first step toward wealth is therefore not external effort alone, but internal clearing. A mind uncluttered, calm, and expectant becomes a natural conduit for abundance, drawing resources, ideas, and circumstances with ease and clarity. Thoughts are the invisible architecture through which the flow of supply travels. Every limiting belief acts as a dam, stopping the circulation of wealth. I am not enough. There is never enough. I do not deserve this. These statements form mental blockages that prevent resources from arriving. Each thought carries energy, and the repeated reinforcement of limitation shapes the environment to reflect those beliefs. Clearing the mind does not mean ignoring reality, it means aligning with the principle that the universe is abundant, and that supply is always available for those whose minds are open and receptive. Gratitude is one of the most effective tools for clearing the mental channels. When one focuses on what is already present and expresses appreciation, the mind shifts from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude acts like a gentle current, washing away the debris of negative thinking and opening space for new wealth to flow. The person who maintains a mental practice of acknowledgement and thanks finds that opportunities present themselves naturally, ideas appear, and help arrives in ways previously unseen. Without gratitude, even favorable circumstances may go unnoticed. and the channels remain partially blocked by the murk of discontent and complaint. Forgiveness is another essential aspect of clearing thoughts. Harboring resentment, anger, or judgment creates internal turbulence that blocks the smooth flow of prosperity. Just as a river slowed by fallen branches loses momentum and energy, the mind burdened with grudges resists the natural movement of supply. To forgive is to remove these obstructions, to allow energy to circulate freely, and to make room for blessings to enter. Forgiveness does not condone harm, it simply releases the mind from holding on to what no longer serves, creating space for new abundance to manifest. Visualization and focused intention also serve as tools for clearing the channels of thought. By picturing the desired outcome clearly and consistently, one aligns mental energy with the reality they wish to create. A clear image of wealth, success, or opportunity acts like a straight, open channel, allowing the currents of supply to move unhindered. Confusion, uncertainty, or vague intentions act as twists and turns in the channel, dissipating energy and slowing the flow. The power of focused thought lies in its ability to carve a path through the subconscious mind, removing obstacles and directing the current of abundance where it is most effective. Self-talk shapes the flow as well. The language one uses internally sets the tone for external manifestation. Words of limitation or fear constrict the mind's openness to supply. Positive, affirming language opens the mental space, much like clearing debris from a river but allows water to move freely. Statements such as, "I am capable of abundance," "Opportunities flow to me easily," and "I am worthy of prosperity," are not merely motivational. They are practical instruments for maintaining clear channels through which wealth can pass. The repetition of such affirmations strengthens the mental pathways, ensuring that supply meets no resistance. Mental clutter, doubt, and indecision act as sediments in the river of thought, slowing the current and creating turbulence. To clear these sediments, one must practice discernment, choosing which ideas, influences, and priorities to allow in the mind. Not every worry, not every opinion, not every fear requires attention. By letting go of unnecessary mental weight, the flow of wealth becomes stronger and more direct. This discipline of mental selection and focus ensures that resources are drawn efficiently and effectively, without wasted effort or misdirection. Meditation and reflection serve to clear and deepen the channels of thought. When the mind is quieted, free from constant chatter and distraction, one becomes aware of hidden blockages and can release them consciously. Meditation allows insight into the ways limiting beliefs shape behavior and perception, enabling corrective action. As the mind gains clarity, intuition becomes stronger and opportunities for wealth become more apparent. The stillness of a clear mind mirrors the smooth surface of a pond, reflecting abundance without distortion and attracting circumstances that align with that clarity. The principle extends to habits and routines as well. Mental and emotional clutter often stems from chaotic lifestyles, poor organization, or scattered attention. By cultivating habits that promote clarity, regular planning, reflection, prioritization, and rest, the mind remains open to the flow of supply. A structured and harmonious inner life translates into an external reality in which wealth is more easily recognized and captured. Just as a well-maintained channel allows water to move without obstruction, disciplined routines enable the natural circulation of abundance to continue uninterrupted. Surroundings influence mental clarity too. The environment, physical, social, and informational, contributes to the mental currents that either block or facilitate wealth. Surrounding oneself with negativity, conflict, or excessive noise clogs the channels, while environments that inspire, uplift, and support clarity enhance them. Careful attention to the quality of inputs, books, media, relationships, and experiences ensures that the mind remains receptive. Clearing thought involves both internal work and external awareness, creating a holistic space in which supply can flow freely. Faith and expectancy are powerful allies in this process. Belief in the availability of abundance, trust in the mechanisms of supply, and confidence in one's own worth remove unseen barriers. The mind cannot receive fully if it doubts the legitimacy of wealth or fears inadequacy. Faith acts like a cleansing current, sweeping away fear and reinforcing the openness required for prosperity. Expectancy keeps the channels alert, sensitive, and ready to receive, turning potential opportunities into realized blessings. Every act of generosity, kindness, and constructive contribution further clears mental channels. When one gives without fear, the energy of supply is reinforced. The mind, knowing that circulation brings return, releases tension and opens space for new ideas, resources, and opportunities. The more one aligns thought with the principles of flow and clarity, the more seamless the movement of wealth becomes. Each thought, word, and action either contributes to clarity or adds sediment to the channels, and conscious attention to this process ensures the unrestricted flow of supply. To clear thought is to harmonize with the natural law of abundance. The universe flows through mental channels, responding to openness, gratitude, forgiveness, focus, and trust. When these channels are clear, wealth moves as easily as water through an unobstructed river. Blocked thought creates scarcity, resistance, and frustration. Cleared thought creates opportunity, energy, and the effortless arrival of prosperity. A mind uncluttered is like a spring flowing freely, drawing from the infinite reservoir and nourishing life wherever it reaches. Gratitude aligns with the tide of increase. The simple act of recognizing and appreciating what is already present in life opens the mind and heart to receive far more than the eye can see. Gratitude is a powerful magnet for abundance because it shifts focus from scarcity to sufficiency, from lack to plenty. When the mind dwells on what it already possesses, it acknowledges the fullness of life, and in doing so, it signals the universe that it is ready to receive more. The energy of thankfulness is not passive. It is a dynamic force that attracts opportunities, wealth, and blessings in ways that logical planning or effort alone cannot achieve. The principle of gratitude is evident in nature. Trees, animals, and the seasons perform their work in harmony, responding to the cycles of life without complaint, without resistance. The soil receives rainfall, the sun nourishes plants, and each element contributes its part, creating abundance naturally. Humans, too, are designed to thrive when they recognize the gifts that already exist. By focusing on what is present rather than what is missing, the mind removes resistance and opens channels through which the flow of prosperity can move unhindered. Appreciation becomes a key that unlocks doors previously unseen. Gratitude transforms perception. When one sees each circumstance, person, and possession as a gift, the mind shifts from judgment to acceptance, from limitation to possibility. A grateful mindset perceives the hidden opportunities in challenges, the lessons in setbacks, and the value in simple moments. Wealth flows more easily to those who see abundance in the present, for they are no longer creating mental blocks of resistance or fear. Each expression of gratitude strengthens the connection to the universal supply, making it easier for resources to arrive and circulate. Daily practice of gratitude amplifies its effect. Taking time to consciously acknowledge blessings, whether large or small, trains the mind to expect more good in life. A simple routine of reflection, journaling, or spoken acknowledgement creates an internal rhythm that aligns with the law of increase. The mind begins to focus on solutions, possibilities, and the richness already present, rather than on deficits or limitations. This shift in focus alone produces a remarkable change in how abundance manifests, turning potential opportunities into tangible wealth. Gratitude also cultivates faith. When one appreciates what is already available, there is trust that the source of supply is reliable and unending. This faith removes doubt, which is one of the greatest obstacles to wealth. A person who is thankful for what they have implicitly trusts that more is available and that the universe will respond to alignment with its laws. The energy of faith reinforces the power of gratitude, creating a feedback loop in which expectation and appreciation amplify one another, drawing resources, ideas, and opportunities toward the individual. Even in difficult circumstances, gratitude has transformative power. Life does not always present what is desired immediately, Yet focusing on what is present allows one to see avenues of increase that would otherwise be hidden. A challenging situation, when approached with thankfulness for the lessons it brings, becomes a stepping stone rather than a barrier. This mindset releases energy trapped in frustration or fear and redirects it toward creative solutions and fruitful action. Wealth is not merely the accumulation of money, it includes insight, opportunity, relationships, and experiences, all of which are attracted more readily when gratitude governs thought. The act of giving naturally flows from gratitude. When one appreciates the abundance already present, there is an impulse to share it with others. This sharing, in turn, circulates wealth and reinforces the principle that prosperity is not finite but dynamic. The energy of giving multiplies what is received, creating a flow of abundance that continually renews itself. Gratitude fuels this process by reminding the giver of the richness that already exists, allowing generosity to come from a place of fullness rather than fear. Each act of giving based on thankfulness becomes a channel through which more wealth is drawn into life. Gratitude also aligns the mind with opportunities that might otherwise go unnoticed. When a person is focused on appreciation, they become more sensitive to possibilities, relationships, and solutions that can enhance prosperity. A grateful mind notices doors opening, ideas arriving, and people willing to assist. In contrast, a mind that dwells on lack often misses these subtle signals, trapped in a narrow perspective. Thankfulness expands perception, enabling one to recognize and seize opportunities that are aligned with their desires and the natural flow of increase. In addition, gratitude enhances resilience. Life is full of uncertainties, and the path to wealth often involves challenges. Those who maintain gratitude remain grounded and centered even in the face of setbacks. By focusing on what is working and what is already abundant, the mind avoids being overwhelmed by obstacles and instead channels energy toward constructive action. This mental state is fertile for wealth creation because it combines optimism, focus, and alignment with the laws of abundance, producing outcomes that are both unexpected and substantial. Gratitude also attracts cooperation and assistance. People naturally respond to those who express genuine appreciation. Relationships flourish when gratitude is expressed, creating networks of support and collaboration that contribute to prosperity. The energy of thankfulness communicates openness and receptivity, inviting others to participate in the flow of abundance. In both personal and professional life, gratitude strengthens bonds, builds trust, and enhances the exchange of resources, all of which are essential for the continuous increase of wealth. The spiritual dimension of gratitude cannot be overlooked. Thankfulness aligns the individual with the infinite source of abundance. By acknowledging and appreciating what already exists, the mind harmonizes with the universal law that supplies all needs. This alignment opens channels that are otherwise blocked by fear, doubt, or attachment. The act of gratitude itself carries an energetic frequency that resonates with the rhythm of increase, drawing more of the same into the individual's life. The more consistently gratitude is practiced, the more natural and effortless the flow of wealth becomes, as the mind, heart, and spirit move in harmony with the principles of universal supply. Gratitude, when cultivated as a habitual attitude, transforms life into a magnet for wealth in all forms. It is not merely a polite acknowledgement, but a powerful tool that clears mental, emotional, and spiritual channels for abundance. Each expression of thankfulness reinforces the belief in sufficiency, encourages giving, enhances perception, and strengthens resilience. It creates a fertile environment where opportunities, resources, and ideas can enter freely, multiply, and return, feeding a cycle of continual increase. The practice of gratitude is therefore both a conscious discipline and a natural state that aligns the individual with the infinite tide of supply, ensuring that wealth is recognized, welcomed, and fully received. Every moment spent in genuine appreciation strengthens the alignment with the law of increase. The mind trained to see gifts in all circumstances is naturally open to new forms of wealth. It notices opportunities where others see obstacles, perceives solutions where others see problems, and attracts the support, guidance, and resources necessary to transform potential into reality. The energy of gratitude moves through thought, action, and intention, creating a dynamic flow that continuously reinforces and expands prosperity. The ripple effect of gratitude extends far beyond the individual. Families, communities, and even broader networks benefit when people practice thankfulness, for the energy of appreciation generates cooperation, kindness, and resourcefulness. Gratitude not only attracts wealth to the individual, but enhances the environment in which abundance can multiply. The act of recognizing blessings, expressing thanks, and sharing generously aligns one with a universal rhythm of increase, making prosperity both inevitable and continuous. There is a power in the spoken word. Words are not idle sounds, they are seeds, alive with the energy of creation. What one dares to declare, the universe dares to deliver. Too often, people speak lack, fear, and limitation, and so the garden of their life bears thorns. But when the tongue is aligned with truth, with faith, and with the infinite supply of spirit, it becomes a golden key that unlocks abundance without measure. The world tells you to labor, to strive, to climb with weary feet up mountains of competition. Yet the Spirit whispers, rest in the word. For the word carries more power than effort, more wealth than toil, more certainty than calculation. I have seen the invisible laws move, the silent forces rearrange. The unseen currents bend toward the one who dares to speak with authority. Riches are not a matter of coins, they are a vibration. Abundance is not withheld, it is ever present, awaiting recognition. The moment you recognize it, the moment you dare to proclaim it, the storehouses of heaven swing open and pour forth treasures pressed down, shaken together, and running over. One declaration spoken with conviction is worth more than a lifetime of struggle. For the universe does not respond to hesitation, but to certainty. It does not honor pleading, but commands clothed in faith. When the soul stands tall and utters its decree without doubt, creation rushes to obey. So it was with me. I did not ask timidly, I declared boldly. I did not beg for provision, I spoke as one who already possessed. In that instant, the invisible became visible. The unseen streams of wealth took form and flowed toward me, not as a trickle, but as a flood. The riches of many channels appeared, the gates of opportunity opened wide, and I became a multi-billionaire. Not through accumulation, but through realization, for money is but a shadow of supply. The true supply is spirit, infinite, inexhaustible, and immediate. When I aligned my word with this truth, the outer reflected it in glorious abundance. I spoke one sentence, yet it was not merely a sentence, it was law. And law never fails. You too may hold this same power. For every soul is given the divine right to declare its good. The key is faith without wavering, speech without contradiction, and trust without fear. To say a thing and then to doubt it is to plant a seed and then uproot it. But to say a thing once, with assurance, and to rest in its fulfillment, is to command the soil of the universe to bear fruit without delay. The riches of life are yours for the claiming. The treasures of heaven are yours for the speaking. What you dare to utter with full authority is already waiting in the unseen. Declare your wealth, your health, your joy, your perfect success, and know that the moment you say it, it is done. There is a power so vast, so immediate, so certain, that it cannot be measured by human hands. It is the power of the spoken word, and it stands as the very axis upon which worlds turn. When the word is spoken with faith, when it is declared with authority, when it is released into the ethers with no doubt, it becomes flesh, it becomes form, it becomes reality. The lips are not mere instruments of sound, they are the channels of creation. Each syllable is a command, each phrase a decree, each word a seed carrying the law of its own unfolding. Too long has humanity believed that wealth is earned only through struggle, through ceaseless striving, through endless labor. Too long has the mind been conditioned to see money as scarce, as something to be fought for, as a prize won by competition. But the Spirit knows no such law. Spirit whispers of abundance, of supply without end, of treasures unseen and infinite. Spirit says, all that is mine is thine, and it is given freely. Yet many turn a deaf ear, believing only in the toil of their hands and the calculations of their minds. And so they remain bound by the very chains they forged with their own words of limitation. When the consciousness is lifted, when the eye within sees clearly, when the tongue dares to declare truth, everything changes. The invisible becomes visible. The hidden becomes revealed. The substance of spirit crystallizes into form. One declaration made in the vibration of certainty shifts universes. One word spoken in faith commands the hosts of heaven to move. One decree, clothed in conviction, bends the whole of creation toward fulfillment. I stood in that place where doubt would have me bow, where fear would have me silent, where reason would have me small. Yet I refused to accept the counsel of limitation. I knew that words are messengers, and that they return not void but accomplished. So I spoke, not with hesitation, not with uncertainty, but with authority. And as the words left my lips, they carried the force of law. The universe, obedient and exact, answered as it must. In the very instant I declared it, wealth became mine. Not by slow trickle, not by gradual climb, but by sudden flood. For the riches of spirit know no delay. They do not stumble over process or calculation. They appear the moment they are recognized, the moment they are accepted, the moment they are spoken into being. I became a multi-billionaire the moment I said it, because the law of supply responds only to recognition. It does not answer striving, it answers faith. Money is but the outer shadow of inner substance. The true riches are in spirit, infinite and inexhaustible. To hold a coin in the hand without knowing spirit is to hold only metal. To declare abundance from spirit is to summon streams that never run dry. The outer wealth is a symbol, a reflection, a picture of what already exists in the unseen. The unseen is the real treasure, and the word unlocks it. So many waste their days planting weeds with careless speech. They speak of lack, and so lack grows. They speak of fear, and so fear multiplies. They declare sickness, and sickness appears. They speak of debt, and debt surrounds them. Each word is a seed, and the soil of the universe does not discriminate. It gives back in kind what has been planted. But when the word is aligned with spirit, when it carries the vibration of truth, it cannot fail to yield a harvest of good. The lips were not given to man for idle chatter. They were given as instruments of creation. Every utterance carries energy, every declaration sends forth a command. To speak lack is to command poverty, to speak abundance is to command wealth. To speak fear is to call forth loss. To speak faith is to summon triumph. What is spoken with conviction becomes law unto the speaker. It is not effort that makes the word powerful. It is faith. One need not repeat endlessly, as though the spirit were deaf. The word spoken once with certainty is enough, for the universe requires no reminder. To doubt and repeat is to uproot the seed. To declare and rest is to trust the harvest. The law is precise, unfailing, unbending. It cannot be broken, only obeyed. There are those who will say, but how can words create riches? How can a sentence shape reality? To them, the answer is simple. Words are the vibration of thought made audible. Thought is the mold, the word is the decree, and the spirit is the substance that fills the mold. When the word is spoken, spirit rushes to occupy the shape declared. What is unseen becomes seen, because the command has been given. I did not work for billions, I spoke billions. I did not chase wealth, I declared wealth. And in the moment of my declaration, it was mine. For spirit withholds nothing. It does not delay, it does not ration, it does not measure. It flows according to recognition. The outer form may take many shapes. Investments, opportunities, open doors. But these are but shadows of the inner truth already decreed. Every soul has this power. Every tongue holds this authority. Every man and woman can declare their wealth, their health, their joy, their success. But they must speak as those who know, not as those who beg. They must declare as masters, not as servants. They must utter their decree with assurance, without contradiction, without fear. For the universe responds not to wavering, but to certainty. One declaration is enough when it is spoken in truth. One word can overturn years of lack. One decree can dissolve mountains of debt. One sentence can summon fortunes untold. For the law does not ask how long you have struggled. It asks only, what have you declared? The answer to that question shapes the life you live. The lips are the key to the treasury of heaven. The voice is the command that opens or closes the gates of supply. The one who learns to speak with faith, who learns to utter decrees without doubt, who learns to align words with truth, holds in their possession the secret of effortless abundance. There is a law higher than the laws of men, a law written not upon paper, but upon the fabric of the universe. It is the law of the spoken word, the law that governs creation itself. Every utterance carries within it the seed of its own fulfillment. To speak is not merely to communicate, it is to command. The lips shape the vibration shapes the substance, and the substance shapes the world. Those who know this law live as creators, while those who ignore it stumble as victims of their own careless words. From the beginning, the word has held dominion. Light came forth by a word. Order was born from chaos by a word. The seas, the stars, the earth itself, all responded to the decree spoken into the void. That same authority has been placed within the human tongue. Each person carries the power to speak forth light into darkness, abundance into emptiness, wealth into lack. The difference lies not in the capacity, but in the recognition. Many carry the key but never turn it. The world teaches effort as the only path to prosperity. It whispers of endless striving, competition, and struggle. Yet effort without word is a house without a foundation. To labor without decree is to toil in shifting sand. The wise know that the word is the beginning of all manifestation. Work may gather, but the word multiplies. Effort may build, but the word establishes. One declaration spoken in faith is worth more than years of unfruitful striving. I once stood in the place where reason offered me calculation, where fear presented me with limitation, where doubt whispered of impossibility. Yet I chose the higher law. I spoke not according to what I saw but according to what I knew. My eyes beheld limitation, but my tongue declared abundance. My hands were empty, but my voice proclaimed fullness. My circumstances seemed small, but my decree was vast. In that moment, the invisible shifted. In that instant, unseen forces moved. I became a multi-billionaire the moment I said it, because the declaration aligned me with the eternal storehouses of supply. Wealth is not earned in the way the world believes. Wealth is spoken then received. It is not the result of endless struggle, but of conscious alignment. Money is the shadow, spirit is the substance. The moment spirit is acknowledged through the decree, the shadow appears. To chase the shadow is to exhaust oneself. To claim the substance is to summon the shadow without effort. Every man and woman speaks their life into being daily, though many do not realize it. Words of worry create walls. Words of fear build barriers. Words of complaint sow seeds of limitation. And then they wonder why doors remain closed, why paths remain blocked, why opportunities vanish. They have unknowingly decreed their own obstacles. The soil of the universe does not discriminate, it simply yields what is planted. If weeds are spoken, weeds will grow. If flowers are spoken, flowers will bloom. The secret lies in the unwavering word. One must speak as though the thing is already done. To declare with doubt is to cancel the decree. To speak with fear is to contradict the law. But to utter a word clothed in certainty is to release a command that cannot return void. The universe is exact, precise, unfailing. It bends not to hesitation but to conviction. I did not repeat endlessly. I did not plead as though the source could forget me. I spoke once, with assurance, and I rested in the knowing. For the law does not require reminders, it requires faith. To declare and then question is to plant and then uproot. To declare and then rest is to plant and water, allowing the harvest to ripen. And so the harvest came. Not in trickles, not in portions, but in floods. Billions came because billions were declared. The moment I said it, the channels opened. Invisible rivers of wealth took form and found their way to me. Doors swung open, opportunities multiplied, connections appeared. But these were not the cause, they were the effect. The cause was the word spoken in faith. The world saw fortune, I saw law in motion. The world saw sudden riches. I saw eternal truth fulfilling itself without delay. And yet the riches themselves are not the heart of the matter. They are but symbols, outward reflections of inward alignment. The true treasure lies in the knowledge that nothing is withheld, that all is available, that the storehouses of spirit are inexhaustible. Wealth is but one expression of this law. Health, joy, love, and success all stand waiting for the command. The word is the key that unlocks every door. The voice was never given for idle chatter. It was given as the instrument of creation. Each utterance carries power. Each syllable contains force. To misuse it is to create unconsciously, to invite chaos through careless decree. To master it is to stand as creator, shaping life with precision. To say, I am poor, is to bind oneself with chains. To say, I am rich, is to loose the floodgates of abundance. To declare sickness is to summon it. To declare health is to embody it. The tongue is both sword and key, capable of destroying or unlocking the kingdom of good. The world may doubt this truth, but the law is not moved by disbelief. Gravity does not cease because one denies it. The law of the word does not falter because one mocks it. It continues to operate, silently, faithfully, shaping each life according to the decrees spoken. Whether conscious or unconscious, the word creates. Therefore, the wise guard their lips as treasure, for within them lies the power of life and death, wealth and lack, bondage and freedom. I chose freedom, I chose wealth, I chose abundance, and I spoke them into being. I did not wait for proof follows proclamation. I did not wait for signs appear after the decree. I did not wait for doors are built by the word. I spoke, and the world conformed. I declared, and the substance obeyed. I proclaimed, and the shadow of money appeared in overflowing measure. Every soul holds this same authority. Every voice carries the same creative fire. The difference lies only in the use. Some spend their days decreeing limitation, others spend their days declaring truth. Some use their word to bind, others to set free. The moment one realizes the power of decree, life changes. The moment one dares to speak with certainty, the unseen bends to their will. The word spoken in truth is a force greater than gold, stronger than armies, swifter than light. It is the invisible current that shapes the visible world, the unseen architect of all circumstance, the quiet master behind the stage of life. To speak with conviction is to write upon the ethers, and the ethers obey without hesitation. They do not pause to question. They do not delay to deliberate. They move in exact accordance with what has been declared. The lips, then, are the doorway between the unseen and the seen, between thought and form, between spirit and matter. Every life is a reflection of the words spoken into it. The conditions around you are not accidents, they are echoes. The lack you see is the shadow of words once spoken in fear. The abundance you see is the fruit of words once spoken in faith. The universe mirrors the tongue, for the tongue is the command center of creation. The careless word builds walls, the faithful word opens gates. The doubtful word scatters, the certain word gathers. I stood once with empty hands and silent accounts, yet I was not bound by what I saw. I knew that the outer is but the echo of the inner, and that the inner is shaped by the decree of the tongue. So I lifted my voice, not in complaint, not in fear, not in timid asking, but in bold declaration. I declared wealth, I declared abundance, I declared overflowing supply. And in that very moment, the unseen currents shifted, and the outer began to reflect the inner word. I became a multi-billionaire not by waiting, not by laboring, but by declaring. The world teaches that wealth comes through effort alone, that money must be earned inch by inch, drop by drop, day by day. But the higher law reveals that effort without word is barren. Labor without decree is empty motion. One word spoken in alignment with spirit carries more weight than a lifetime of toil. For spirit is the substance, and the word is the key that unlocks it. To speak is to command, and to command is to receive. Many fail because they speak two languages at once. With one breath they declare abundance, with the next they speak of lack. With one word they proclaim health, with the next they confess weakness. With one sentence they affirm success, with the next they predict failure. This double speech cancels itself, for the law requires certainty. The soil of the universe does not know confusion, it yields only what is planted with unwavering faith. To speak once with conviction is enough. To speak and then contradict is to uproot the seed before it bears fruit. I spoke once, and I rested. I did not repeat as though the Spirit could forget me. I did not beg as though the law could fail. I spoke, I believed, and I knew. And because I knew, the wealth appeared, not as a slow accumulation, but as a sudden flood. Billions manifested, for billions were declared. The storehouses of supply do not trickle, they overflow when unlocked, and they are unlocked by the word alone. Money itself is not the treasure. It is the shadow. Spirit is the treasure. Spirit is the inexhaustible source, the eternal substance, the wellspring without end. When spirit is acknowledged, money appears as the outer sign. To chase the shadow is to tire the body and frustrate the mind. To declare the substance is to summon the shadow without struggle. I did not chase, I declared. I did not strive, I spoke. And the shadow appeared, faithful to the word. Every person holds this same authority. The difference lies only in recognition. Some spend their breath on idle chatter, never realizing the law in motion. They speak carelessly of sickness, of lack, of limitation, and then wonder why these things surround them. Their lives are filled with what their tongues have sown. The law does not rest, it does not pause, it does not ignore. It creates according to the decree, whether the decree is conscious or careless. Guard the lips, for they are the gatekeepers of destiny. Each sentence is a seed cast into the fertile soil of the unseen. Each phrase is a command that shapes tomorrow. To speak lack is to plant weeds. To speak abundance is to plant orchards. To speak fear is to invite chains. To speak faith is to summon freedom. The choice is given to every soul, and the harvest cannot be denied. When I declared my wealth, I did so not as a beggar, but as a master. I did not ask timidly, I commanded boldly. I did not hope weakly, I proclaimed firmly. I spoke as one who knew, and because I knew, the law obeyed. Faith clothed my words with authority, and authority brought them to pass. I became a multi-billionaire not by chance but by law, and law never fails. The riches that came were vast, yet they were only symbols. The true wealth was the knowing. The true treasure was the certainty that nothing is withheld, that all is already given, that the universe is rich beyond measure and responds to the word of faith without delay. With that knowing, one could declare health and see the body renewed. One could declare joy and see sorrow dissolved. One could declare harmony and see conflict vanish. Wealth was but one proof of the greater law, that the word creates all. I did not measure my wealth by the figures in accounts, for they were only reflections. I measured it by the recognition that I was one with inexhaustible supply. The billions that appeared were the shadow of that recognition, the echo of that decree. The same law that brought them forth would bring forth any good I chose to declare. And so it is for all. The lips carry the key. The voice carries the power, the word carries the law. To declare is to create. To speak is to summon. To decree is to establish. The world bends to the word uttered in faith, for the word is the highest command. It is not repetition that makes it strong, but certainty. It is not volume that makes it heard, but faith. The quiet word spoken in assurance shakes the unseen more than the loud cry of doubt. The steady decree uttered once reshapes reality more than 1,000 wavering requests. I knew this law and I used it. I spoke wealth, and wealth appeared. I declared abundance, and abundance surrounded me. I proclaimed billions, and billions flowed without hindrance. Not by accident, not by favor, not by chance, but by the precise operation of a law that cannot fail. And this same law stands waiting at the lips of all, ready to bring forth whatever is decreed with faith. The universe is not silent, it listens. It bends its ear to every utterance, and it answers with precision. The words spoken are not lost in the air, they are imprinted upon the ethers, carried into the currents of creation, and returned in form. Every sound that leaves the lips sets in motion forces unseen, and those forces never fail to produce after their kind. To speak is to set law into motion, To decree is to command substance. To declare is to call forth from the invisible into the visible. I learned that the tongue is not given merely for speech with men, but for command over matter. Each word is a seed that cannot lie dormant. It must germinate, it must bear fruit, it must return multiplied. When words of faith are spoken, the harvest is abundance. When words of fear are spoken, the harvest is limitation. Life is the mirror of the tongue, and the tongue is the shaper of destiny. When I declared my wealth, I did not ask whether it was possible. I did not look to reason, for reason is blind to spirit. I did not seek permission from men, for men are bound by appearances. I spoke directly into the ethers, into the fabric of creation, into the heart of supply. I declared not as one seeking, but as one possessing. I did not wait to see before I spoke, and then I saw. The billions appeared because the billions were commanded, and the universe cannot resist the word of faith. The moment I said it, I became it. The declaration and the manifestation were one. For the word spoken in certainty collapses the gap between cause and effect, between desire and possession, between unseen and seen. The shadow of money rushed to fill the decree, because the decree was rooted in the substance of spirit. Spirit is infinite, and when it is recognized, it pours itself into form with no limit, no delay, no resistance. The world believes wealth is gathered piece by piece, coin by coin, day by day. They believe it comes through chance, through labor, through the favor of others. Yet the higher law reveals another way. Wealth is not gathered. It is declared. It is not accumulated, it is summoned. It does not come through chance, it comes through law. And the law is exact. What is spoken with faith must appear. Many remain in lack because they have never mastered their tongue. They speak want, and so they want. They speak fear, and so they fear. They speak doubt, and so they doubt. Each phrase becomes a command, and the universe, obedient, fulfills it. Then they wonder why their lives are small, why their hands are empty, why doors remain closed. They have built their own prisons with the mortar of their words. Yet the same lips that bind can loose, the same tongue that curses can bless, the same voice that imprisons can set free. The word is power when spoken once with conviction. It does not require endless repetition, for the law is not forgetful. The decree need not be shouted, for spirit does not strain to hear. One word uttered with assurance carries more weight than 1,000 pleas filled with doubt. To speak and then rest is the way of faith. To speak and then question is the way of failure. The law answers certainty and ignores contradiction. I knew this, and so I spoke with the voice of authority. I declared billions, not as a wish but as a fact. I claimed abundance not as a hope but as a possession. I spoke and I rested in the knowing. And the knowing drew the wealth, as surely as the sun draws flowers into bloom. I became a multi-billionaire because I understood the law of the word, and I dared to use it without hesitation. The billions that came were not a reward. They were a reflection. They mirrored the decree, they echoed the proclamation, they shadowed the substance. Money is but a symbol of spirit, and spirit is the true treasure. To possess spirit is to command wealth, to command health, to command every good. Spirit is infinite, inexhaustible, immediate. When the tongue acknowledges this truth, the outer world rearranges itself in harmony with the decree. I did not chase money, I spoke it. I did not toil for riches, I declared them. The riches came because the law was set in motion, and law never fails. The unseen streams of supply took form the moment the word was spoken. Opportunities appeared, channels opened, resources multiplied. Yet these were not the cause, they were the effect. The cause was the word, the effect was the wealth. The true work was not in the outer but in the inner, not in the labor but in the declaration. Every man and woman holds this power. The tongue of each is a scepter, and with it they rule their world. To speak lack is to reign over poverty, to speak abundance is to reign over riches. To speak fear is to enthrone weakness, to speak faith is to enthrone strength. The voice shapes the kingdom, and each is sovereign over their own domain by the words they release. Guard the words, for they are treasures. They are not idle, they are not empty. They are not wasted. They move, they shape, they create. Speak with care, for every utterance writes upon the ethers. Speak with faith, for every decree is law unto itself. Speak with certainty, for certainty is the key that unlocks the storehouses of supply. The lips are not small. They are mighty. The voice is not weak, it is sovereign. When I declared my wealth, I did so as one who knew. I knew that the law cannot fail. I knew that spirit cannot lack. I knew that the word cannot return void. I knew, and because I knew, I received. Billions appeared not because I earned them, but because I commanded them. The universe is precise. It cannot ignore the decree spoken in truth. The riches came as they must, as water flows to the sea, as light follows dawn, as shadow follows form. And yet the greatest wealth was not the billions themselves, but the certainty that comes from knowing the law. For with that certainty, no good is out of reach. To declare health is to live in health. To declare joy is to live in joy. To declare peace is to live in peace. Wealth was but one proof, one manifestation, one reflection of the greater truth, that the word creates all. The word is seed, the word is key. The word is law. Speak it once with faith, and it is done. Speak it once with authority, and it is established. Speak it once with certainty, and it is yours. I spoke, and billions came. I declared, and abundance overflowed. I proclaimed, and wealth appeared without limit, not by chance, not by effort, not by favor, but by law. The word is the rod of power placed in the hands of every soul, the scepter by which kings rule, the tool by which creators fashion worlds. The moment it is spoken with conviction, it cuts through the veil of the unseen and compels the universe to answer. It does not wait upon time, it does not lean upon circumstance, it does not bow to probability. The word stands above all these, commanding matter as a servant, bending conditions as clay, shaping outcomes as a potter shapes the vessel. To know this is to hold dominion. To use this is to master life. I once stood at the threshold of lack, and I refused to bow. I would not name myself poor, for to name is to claim. I would not confess limitation, for to confess is to decree. I would not utter defeat, for to utter is to establish. I knew that silence could not save me, for silence is only a void. I knew that fear could not deliver me, for fear is but faith in loss. I knew that complaint could not free me, for complaint binds the chains tighter. There was only one path, the word spoken with authority. And so I declared. I declared wealth, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality. I spoke billions not as a dream, but as a fact. I proclaimed abundance, not as a wish, but as a possession. And in that instant, the unseen substance stirred, the invisible responded, the eternal law obeyed. The billions rushed in because they were commanded. The riches appeared because they were decreed. I became a multi-billionaire the moment I said it, because the word is always answered, and the answer always reflects the decree. The world has been trained to believe in effort above all, in toil as the source, in labor as the way. They believe riches belong only to the strongest, the cleverest, the most fortunate. But the higher law speaks otherwise. It whispers of an inexhaustible supply, waiting not to be earned but to be recognized. It declares that the tongue is greater than toil, that the decree outweighs the struggle, that the word alone is the key. Labor builds slowly, but the word multiplies instantly. Effort reaches by inches, but the word commands by leaps. Many wonder why their desires never manifest. They beg, they plead, they repeat endlessly, yet nothing changes. They speak in doubt, and doubt cancels their decree. They declare today and contradict tomorrow, planting and uprooting with the same hand. They call abundance in one breath and speak lack in the next. The soil of the universe obeys, but it cannot bring forth both weeds and wheat at once. The harvest follows the stronger seed, and the stronger seed is always the word clothed in certainty. I did not beg, I did not plead. I did not repeat endlessly as though the spirit were deaf. I spoke once, with the full weight of conviction, and then I rested in the knowing. I did not look for signs follow the decree. I did not wait for evidence is born from the word. I did not question, for questioning is the shadow of fear. I knew, and because I knew, the billions came without delay. Money itself is not the source, it is the shadow. The source is spirit, infinite, unchanging, overflowing. To touch spirit is to command all form, for form is but the echo of substance. When spirit is acknowledged, the outer cannot resist conforming. When spirit is named, the shadow of wealth appears. The billions that came to me were not miracles, they were mirrors. They reflected the decree spoken, they echoed the law fulfilled. They shadowed the substance declared. The lips are the gates of destiny. Guard them, for they create with every utterance. Do not say, I cannot, for the universe will seal the door. Do not say, I am weak, for the universe will mirror weakness. Do not say, I am poor, for the universe will manifest poverty. Say instead, I can, and the way opens. Say, I am strong, and strength fills the body. Say, I am rich, and the floodgates of supply burst forth. The word spoken with faith is never idle. It is a command to the universe, and the universe must obey. When I declared billions, I declared as one who knew. I did not tremble, I did not hesitate. I did not doubt. I spoke as a master, not a servant. I spoke as a possessor, not a seeker. I spoke as one aligned with spirit, and spirit does not deny itself. The decree carried the vibration of certainty, and certainty is the key that unlocks every treasure. In that moment, I did not simply speak wealth. I embodied it, I lived it, I was it. And the outer world conformed to the inner word as surely as day follows night. Every person carries the same authority, though many are blind to it. They use their tongues to bind themselves, when they could use them to set themselves free. They curse their lives with idle chatter, when they could bless them with sacred decree. They speak of what they fear, and they live in fear. They speak of what they lack, and they live in lack. They speak of what they dread, and they live in dread. All the while the law answers faithfully, giving back to them exactly what they command. The wise do not waste their words. They do not squander them on complaints or doubts. They use them as builders use stones, with precision, with vision, with purpose. They declare the life they choose, and the life they choose appears. They decree abundance, and abundance surrounds them. They proclaim health, and health fills their bodies. They speak joy, and joy saturates their days. Their words are never idle, for they know that each syllable is creation in motion. The billions I received were not given to me by chance, nor were they the result of men's decisions. They were drawn by law, summoned by decree, compelled by the certainty of the spoken word. The channels through which they came were many. Investments, opportunities, connections, open doors. But these were only the vessels. The true cause was the word, and the word alone. The decree went forth, and the universe rearranged itself to fulfill it. This is the law available to all, not to the few. Every voice holds the same power, every tongue the same authority. The question is not whether the power is there, but whether it will be used. To speak with fear is to invite limitation. To speak with doubt is to command delay. To speak with faith is to summon abundance. To speak with certainty is to command immediate fulfillment. The choice is ever present, and the harvest is always true to the seed. I knew this, and I chose my seed with care. I chose to speak wealth, and wealth appeared. I chose to declare abundance, and abundance overflowed. I chose to proclaim billions, and billions manifested, not because of chance, not because of favor, not because of effort, but because of law. And the law is faithful, precise, unbending. It does not falter, it does not fail, it does not deny, it answers every word, and it answers exactly. Stop. Whatever you are doing, stop. I speak not to your reasoning mind, nor to your fear, nor to the part of you that still believes wealth is earned through toil and tears. I speak to your soul, which has known all along. You were never meant to struggle for money. You were meant to speak to it. Money is not your master. It is not your opponent. It is not a finish line at the end of suffering. It is your obedient servant, awaiting your command. When the tongue aligns with truth, money obeys, not slowly, not someday, not after worthiness has been proven, but instantly, joyfully, and without resistance. One sentence, spoken in spiritual authority, turns lack into overflow. one sentence, when drenched in divine recognition, bends the seen and the unseen. I say it now with power. Money is not my master. It is my obedient servant. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is law, divine law, irrefutable, eternal, perfect. And it is ready to work for you. The law I speak of is older than your doubt, older than your bank account, older than fear itself. It is the law of the spoken word, coupled with the law of instant manifestation. The moment the decree is pure, the moment the tone carries faith instead of fear, heaven responds, "Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." That is not suggestion, it is legal authority in the court of spirit. When a king speaks, the word becomes law. When a beggar speaks, the wind ignores him. Which voice do you wear when you speak of money? Do you murmur like a victim or decree like a victor? Money does not respond to hope. It responds to command. You may have tried visualizing, affirming, hoping, praying. But if your voice wavers, if your tone trembles, if your word is dipped in doubt, then all your declarations collapse like paper against steel. You must speak not to the problem, but into the atmosphere, as if the problem never existed. That is the great secret. You do not move money by describing your lack. You move it by announcing your rank. Imagine a well-trained animal. It does not move because you need it to. It moves because you issued a clear, confident, consistent command. It hears tone, it hears posture, it hears certainty. So does money. If you say, "Please come," money will hesitate. If you say, "I don't know how," money will reflect your confusion. But when you say, "I command it now," with the conviction of heaven behind you, all of creation hears and obeys. Say it with me again. Money is not my master, it is my obedient servant. Let the old theology collapse. Let the gospel of effort die. Let the law of divine alignment rise in you now. Now we speak the sentence, not as a chant, not as a wish, not as an experiment, but as a verdict, as a spiritual ruling passed down from the throne of dominion. The sentence is this: Money, I now speak to you. You are divine substance, and you obey my voice. Let no one rush past these words. Let no seeker dare dilute their power. These are not poetic flourishes to entertain the mind. They are holy instructions for commanding matter through spirit. For wealth is not a number, but a vibration. It is not paper, but presence. It is not earned, but declared. The tongue is the key, and this sentence turns the lock. Let me show you why this sentence works. First, it names money rightly, not as a human master, not as a wicked temptation, not as an idol to fear, but as what it truly is, divine substance. It is not from banks. It is not from bosses. It is not from clients or contracts or economic conditions. It is divine. It is spiritual. It is born from the invisible realm of law, shaped by voice, and formed through the mold of consciousness. Until you call it divine, you will always fear it. Until you call it obedient, you will always chase it. Second, this sentence removes personification. You do not ask money how it feels. You do not wonder if it will cooperate. You do not shrink before its silence. You command it. You speak to it as a master speaks to a tool. You do not romanticize a hammer. You lift it and strike. So it is with money. You do not worship it. You direct it. And third, this sentence asserts spiritual control. Not through emotion, not through desperation, not through strained begging, but through clear, calm, unshakable authority. This is not theater. This is alignment. This is the tone of the soul that remembers who it is. You are not a hopeful borrower in a long line at the gate of provision. You are the gate. You are the word that opens it. You are the voice that names the amount, declares the timing, and commands its obedience. So now we practice, not just once, but with rhythm, with breath, with the stillness of law behind every word. Breathe in fully. Let the breath reach down to your belly. For shallow breath is the signature of fear, but deep breath is the foundation of certainty. Now, on your next exhale, Speak with me slowly and without apology. Money, I now speak to you. You are divine substance, and you obey my voice. Again. Money, I now speak to you. You are divine substance, and you obey my voice. And once more, with every cell in agreement, with your inner court silent before your decree. Money, I now speak to you. You are divine substance, and you obey my voice. This is not performance. This is law. This is not magic. This is dominion. Speak it daily. Speak it before looking at numbers. Speak it before signing contracts. Speak it before checking balances. Speak it until the world bends. Speak it until matter moves. Speak it until the room feels different and your atmosphere shifts from survival to surplus. Speak it not as a suggestion, but as the sentence that shifts all reality. Let us now destroy the idol of hustle, the illusion of strain, the grinding myth that has worn saints down to their bones and taught the spiritually royal to live like beggars. For too long, humanity has labored under the lie that money is made by sweat. That value must bleed out of the brow. That abundance is earned only through sacrifice and exhaustion and the brutal badge of effort. But I tell you now, this is not divine law. It is human programming. This is not spiritual truth. It is carnal hypnosis. And you must decide today whether you will serve hustle or serve harmony, whether you will cling to the sweat-soaked creed of the world or enter the peaceful current of the kingdom, where money comes by decree, not by distress, where wealth flows by vibration, not calculation, where spiritual substance answers voice, not effort, not education, not experience, not endless striving. We begin by replacing the language of bondage with the language of alignment. No longer shall you say, I have to hustle, for the word hustle implies that wealth is elusive, that supply is suspicious, that money is hiding and must be chased down with brute force and anxious cunning. But money is not hiding, it is listening. Money is not a fugitive, it is a soldier awaiting instruction. So we say instead, I have to harmonize. I align with the current of divine flow. I get in rhythm with the law that governs increase. I move with the melody of spiritual abundance, and I let it carry me. When I speak in tune with truth, supply comes not with a fight, but with ease. No longer shall you say, I earn it. This phrase must be torn from your vocabulary like a weed from a garden. It is the chant of the spiritually amnesiac, the mantra of those who have forgotten that all things are given freely to the one who remembers their inheritance. Replace it immediately with, I align with it. Money is not earned, it is permitted. It is not achieved, it is received. And it cannot find you if your speech betrays a consciousness of toil. You do not earn sunlight. You open the curtain. You do not earn gravity. You surrender to its pull. So it is with divine supply. You do not earn it by labor, you receive it by law. And now I cancel every whisper, every inner echo, every generational sermon that said, money is hard. It is not. Money is obedient. Money is responsive. Money is malleable in the hands of the one who speaks with authority. Declare it with me now. Money is obedient. I am the voice it obeys. Say it again, until your nervous system believes it, until your ancestors shout in your bloodstream, until every neural groove that worshipped hard labor is overwritten by grace. Money is obedient. I am the voice it obeys. Visualize it now. Truly see it with your inner eye, a contract written in the old tongue of effort, written in sweat and fear and exhaustion, written by your parents, your teachers, your childhood, signed in silence by your younger self. And now, in your imagination, I hand you the pen. I hand you the fire. Tear it, burn it, dissolve it in the presence of spiritual truth. Watch the ash of that false agreement drift away as you speak the new covenant. I now sign my name to ease. I now enter contract with overflow. I now decree that wealth comes not through suffering, but through spiritual symmetry. You are not a workhorse, you are a commander. You are not a laborer in the field of striving. You are a mouthpiece of divine multiplication. Let the labor illusion fall. Let the hustle god die. Let your hands rest and your word rise. The great error of man is not in his desire for wealth, but in his position toward it. He speaks as the seeker. He speaks as the outsider. He speaks as one knocking at a door he does not believe he has the right to enter. And so his voice is faint. His words are riddled with permission-seeking tones. His declarations end in question marks. And the substance of wealth, waiting like a soldier to be instructed, hears no clear command and thus remains still, unmoved, unassigned. But I say to you, rise now in consciousness, for you were never meant to speak as the one who is hoping. You were born to speak as the one who is hosting divine supply. You are not a beggar before the gates of wealth. You are the gate. You are the voice. You are the mouth through which heaven invades the material. You are the sender, not the seeker. You are the decree, not the doubt. And so I give you the command. Speak not from hunger, speak from heaven. Speak not as the mouth of your bank balance, but as the oracle of divine law. Say with me now, I no longer ask. I authorize, let that sentence rise in you until it changes your posture, until your shoulders lift, until your breath slows with certainty, until the words stop trembling out of your mouth like requests and begin roaring out of your soul like rulings. For your silence is not humility, it is delay. Your timidity is not holiness, it is disobedience to divine law. You were made in the image of a God who speaks galaxies into form. You were made in the image of a Christ who said to the storm, "Peace, be still," and the wind obeyed. And if you are made in that image, your voice must now reflect that same divine certainty. I challenge you now, not tomorrow, not after the next paycheck, not when the anxiety subsides, but now, to stop echoing the contents of your bank account and start echoing the contents of the kingdom. Stop quoting your expenses and start quoting your inheritance. Stop reporting the lack and start reporting the law. Stop praying as one who is trying to be chosen and start decreeing as one who has already been crowned. The only difference between the one who stays broke and the one who multiplies wealth is not talent, not timing, not intelligence, but tone, authority, voice. One speaks as the applicant, the other speaks as the appointer. And the substance of money does not move for applicants. It moves for appointers. Money does not respond to supplication. It responds to summoning. Money does not rise for requests. It rises for rulings. Say this with me now, not from theory, not from curiosity, but from truth that you feel even now rising in your spine. I am not applying for money. I am appointing it. Say it again. I am not applying for money. I am appointing it. And say it again until your voice deepens, until the false humility shatters, until the consciousness of wealth takes up residence in your tone. I am not applying for money. I am appointing it. You are not here to chase money. You are here to channel it. You are not here to beg for overflow. You are here to authorize its release. And every time you speak from source, the entire structure of the unseen bends to bring into form what your voice has permitted. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. This is not delusion, it is dominion. And the world will tell you to be realistic, but I tell you, speak from revelation, for revelation is the only realism recognized in the kingdom. Stand up, lift your head, command with clean tones. Speak from within the treasury of divine abundance. For you are not outside the gate. You are the one heaven has appointed to unlock it with your voice. Now speak these words with me, not as if repeating a mantra, hoping to convince yourself, but as one who recognizes that the moment your tongue moves in rhythm with divine truth, the invisible forces of wealth increase and supernatural order rearrange themselves to obey, because divine law is not slow, nor is it forgetful, nor is it hypothetical. It is immediate, living, spiritual fire, and your voice is the match that lights the altar of manifestation. Let your breath steady, let your spirit stand upright, and say these with full voltage, full faith, and full finality. Money recognizes my voice. It does not hesitate when I speak. It does not delay when I declare. It hears the frequency of faith woven into the fabric of my words, and it moves because I move. It comes because I call. It answers because I have ceased to whisper and begun to roar. Money recognizes my voice because my voice is backed by law, and law is never ignored. Money is not confused about its instructions. It does not wait to be earned. It waits to be spoken to. And I am speaking now. I speak as the one heaven trusts to govern gold. I command increase, and it obeys. I do not suggest it. I do not beg for it. I do not hope that it finds me someday, somehow, by accident or by the pity of fate. No, I command it, as the rightful heir of all things divine, as the legally authorized mouthpiece of abundance, as the voice who carries the echo of Eden's original design. I command increase, and because I have removed every fearful tone from my mouth, because I have stopped asking the wind and started ordering the waves, it obeys. Not tomorrow, not eventually, but now. It obeys now. I am not chasing, I am choosing. I no longer run behind opportunity, panting with desperation and shame. I sit in the seat of dominion, and I choose what belongs to me. I choose what aligns with spiritual law. I choose overflow, not because I need it, but because I am the one appointed to distribute it with clean hands and a commanding voice. I am not a spiritual orphan seeking scraps. I am the beloved steward whose voice reshapes the treasury. My word governs my wealth, not the economy, not the algorithm, not the stock market or the salary range or the predictions of financial analysts or the fears of my past. My word governs my wealth. It builds the structure. It assigns the flow. It calls the numbers. It opens the vaults. It writes the checks. It multiplies what exists and manifests what has not yet been seen. My word governs my wealth because my word is in alignment with divine law, and divine law never returns void. Now speak these affirmations again, slowly, truthfully, and with the boldness of one who knows. You are not repeating words, you are shifting reality. Now stop, breathe, let your soul catch up to the sound you just released. Because this is no longer a theory you're entertaining or a curiosity you're testing. This is now a spiritual engagement, a divine transaction, an invisible covenant being forged between your word and your world, between what you declare and what dares to appear, between your mouth and the miracle it has just magnetized. This is not just a video, and this is not just a teaching. This is an altar of agreement, and your voice is the offering placed upon it, burning with sacred fire, sending up smoke signals to the unseen realms that one of God's own has remembered her power, remembered his law, remembered the ancient truth, that your wealth is not out there waiting. It is in here, sleeping, until your voice awakens it. So I ask you now, not as a passive viewer, but as a participant in divine dominion. Have you ever dared to speak to money like a master, not a servant? Have you ever opened your mouth with no apology, no doubt, no hesitation, and declared out loud with all authority that you are not waiting for wealth to like you, to approve you, to slowly make its way into your account, but that you are the one who commands it, who hosts it, who assigns it, and who multiplies it by decree? Have you ever treated your voice like the vault it truly is, like the ignition key to the treasury of spirit? If so, then this moment is your public declaration. Write it below. Declare it in the comments like you mean it. Say, I just gave money a command. Not a wish, not a weak hope, a command. And if this lit something in you, if the fire has started to crackle in the corner of your soul, then subscribe and return here daily. Because this is not a one-time activation. This is vocal dominion training. This is how you become unshakable, undeniable, and unfailingly funded by the voice of truth. Everything in the universe operates by law, unseen, unstoppable, unfailing law. And the law I now bring before your soul is the law of divine agreement, the metaphysical principle that nothing comes into being, nothing manifests, nothing becomes visible until it has been agreed upon in the invisible realm, until two forces, your word and divine truth, come together and say the same thing, until heaven and earth shake hands through the bridge of your voice, until the truth that is always waiting finds a voice bold enough to give it permission to become flesh. It is written, "If two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything they shall ask, it shall be done for them." Matthew 18:19. And while many believe this refers to two people agreeing in prayer, I tell you now, with the full weight of spiritual law, that the most potent agreement is not between two bodies, but between your external voice and your internal belief, between what you speak aloud and what your subconscious silently echoes. Your word must not only be declared, but echoed in the silent chambers of your inner temple. You must not just speak prosperity from your lips. You must remove every whisper of contradiction from the basement of your soul. You must become the second witness to your own decree. The law of divine agreement demands that your inner and outer world say the same thing. Your conscious command and your subconscious expectation must marry in truth, or the seed will not sprout, the vault will not open, the flow will not begin. Your doubt is not neutral, it is spiritual interference. Your hesitation is not harmless, it is a silent veto. And your fear is not passive, it is an unauthorized cosigner on the check of your life. So I ask you now, not with sentiment, but with sacred urgency, what have you been agreeing with in silence? Have you allowed the voice of fear to sit beside your affirmations and nod along? Have you declared increase aloud while secretly expecting delay? Have you said, "I receive" with your mouth, but said, "It won't happen" with your hidden mental script? You cannot serve two voices. You cannot water the seeds of overflow while rehearsing the weather forecast of famine in your mind. The soil will spit out contradiction. The spirit will not honor confusion. The law does not bend to double-minded declarations. You must agree within and without, above and below, morning and night. So this is the charge. Align your entire being to the truth you are speaking. Let no cell in your body disagree. Let no part of you remain loyal to lack. If you speak, then let your spine agree. Let your breath agree. Let your bank agree. Let your schedule agree. Let your gaze and your posture and your expectation agree. And when that alignment is reached, when the tuning fork of your spirit resonates without static, then heaven rushes to confirm, money rushes to appear, substance begins to gather, and what was spoken begins to shape itself around you in visible, tangible, irreversible supply. Now listen closely, for this is the pivot point where most fall back into the trap of visible facts, where they rehearse the numbers they see instead of releasing the numbers they are called to create, where they describe lack with great precision, but forget they were never assigned to report the appearance. They were anointed to rewire it with their word, to override it with their decree, to address the number not as a fixed reality, but as a servant of their vibration, a blank figure awaiting instruction from a master consciousness, a shapeless mist waiting to be commanded into form. If you have $7 in your account and you say with trembling voice, "I only have $7, you have just cast your vote for stagnation. You have stamped that amount with permanence. You have anointed it with power it never possessed. Because you did not speak to it, you spoke about it, and there is no spiritual authority in commentary, only in command. You must stop narrating the balance and start addressing it like a territory waiting to be filled. You must say, "This account now receives divine increase. This number now multiplies under grace. This figure expands to match my spiritual inheritance." Do not say, "I hope it grows." Say, "I decree expansion now." Say, "Divine substance, fill this space." Say, "I assign wealth to this account." Say, "Money, obey my voice and pour into this balance in perfect order, divine surplus, and visible confirmation." If you speak about the number, you give it the power to reflect the past. But when you speak to the number, you authorize it to mirror your next reality. Let me tell you the truth that changed everything for a woman I once knew. She came to me with tears in her voice, panic in her breath, and a story that began with, "I've only got 14 cents. That was the number in her account. 14 cents, and a wall of bills, and a mountain of fear. But I did not comfort her in that number. I did not teach her how to stretch it. I taught her to speak to it. I said, 'You will bless that account. You will thank divine substance for its presence. You will not curse it. You will not describe it. You will command it.' And she did. Every morning and every night she said, 'This 14 cents now multiplies under the law of spiritual substance. My account is filled with divine surplus. I do not count coins, I count on God.' And on the third day, a check arrived, unexpected, unsolicited, a divine surprise, and her 14 became 4,000, and her voice became a vault, and her fear became praise. So I ask you now, will you be the next one to stop describing and start decreeing? Will you open your banking app not with dread, but with dominion? Will you look at the number on the screen and remember that it is not the truth? It is the echo of past belief? Will you speak to it like a sculptor speaks to stone, not by explaining what it is, but by commanding what it shall become? Will you say, "This number is now flooded with divine deposits. This balance now reflects heaven's math. This figure now bends to the law of my voice. I do not echo the number, I rewrite it." Money is not loyal to the past, it is loyal to your present decree. Speak not about what you see, speak to it as one who owns the vaults of heaven. For your mouth is the manager of your money, and your word is the architect of your increase. And every number you see is just a servant waiting for orders, so give them. There is a secret root that hides beneath so many mouths that speak of money, a hidden vine of fear that twists around the tongue and chokes the decree before it can take form, a fear not of lack, but of increase, not of being broke, but of being blessed beyond measure, not of having too little, but of handling too much. And that fear is subtle, cloaked in spiritual-sounding language, disguised as humility, wrapped in generational guilt, and inherited from voices who told you somewhere along the way that wealth was dangerous, too loud, too prideful, too much to carry without slipping, that money would corrupt your soul or stain your innocence or turn your heart away from God. And because of these silent imprints, you declared abundance with your mouth while fearing it with your nervous system. You wrote affirmations with your hand while bracing for judgment in your chest. You visualized overflow, but flinched at the image of yourself actually holding it. But hear me now, and hear me deeply. Spirit never withholds increase from you. Your own hidden fear does, and that fear is not holy, not virtuous, not protective. It is deception in disguise. It is sabotage dressed as caution. It is the inner saboteur posing as your conscience, whispering things like, "What if I can't manage it? What if people resent me? What if I lose myself in the process?" But let us now speak fire to those lies. Let us cancel them with the breath of truth. For you are not a fraud in overflow. You are a steward of divine inheritance. You are not unworthy of more. You are assigned to receive, multiply, and circulate good in the world. You are not too fragile for financial elevation. You are the exact vessel heaven crafted to carry surplus with spiritual strength and holy responsibility. Now say this with me, in rhythm and in revelation. I erase the inner fear of wealth. I cancel the agreement with not enough. I remove the shame that once wrapped itself around money. I am safe with abundance. I am trusted with overflow. I am called to carry riches with clarity, humility, and divine power. Speak it again. Speak it until the knots untie. Speak it until your nervous system stops flinching. Speak it until the body of your past finally bows to the authority of your voice. Now close your eyes for a moment and see it with me. You, standing before an enormous vault door, not locked, not guarded, but open, wide, silent, waiting. Waiting for you not to knock, but to step forward, not to ask permission, but to walk in. You see stacks of divine provision, contracts, checks, houses, investments, opportunities, and instead of shrinking, you feel calm, grounded, tall. You do not run, you do not stutter, you do not hide, you speak. You say, I receive this, I was made for this. I do not panic in the presence of blessing, I preside over it. I do not tremble before treasure, I govern it. This is my birthright, and I no longer apologize for wearing it. Let that image become your new default. Let that feeling of peace in the presence of wealth become your new nervous system signature. Let that calm, clear, centered posture become your spiritual muscle memory. Because you must know this: you were never meant to be overwhelmed by overflow. You were meant to be anchored in it. You were never meant to fear large amounts. You were designed to assign them. You were never meant to whisper around wealth. You were born to speak it into proper place. And so the fear must go. The guilt must dissolve. The shame must be washed clean in the river of truth. You are not a beggar who stumbled into blessing. You are a divine authority who finally remembered your inheritance. Now stand tall, breathe deep, and say aloud, Spirit trusts me with large amounts. Heaven has no fear about my wealth, so I have none either. I no longer fear the more, I manage it. I no longer fear the millions, I multiply them. I no longer fear the harvest, I gather it. In me, money finds its right place, and in me, abundance is safe. There comes a moment where the soul must graduate from asking into commanding, from hoping into declaring, from tiptoeing around divine provision into speaking directly to it with the voice of one who has authority, not borrowed, not begged for, not inherited from another human voice, but granted by spiritual law itself. Because money, my dear, does not obey need, it obeys voice. It does not move for desperation, it moves for declaration. And it does not rearrange itself for silence. It responds to the command of the one who finally remembered their role as spiritual initiator, not material victim. This is the moment where you stop calling yourself unlucky, where you stop apologizing for wanting more, where you stop rehearsing the story of, it's not coming yet, and instead, you stand tall in your God-given dominion, and you command the inflow, not as one who is entitled, but as one who is empowered by divine covenant. You must begin to speak to your inflow as you would to a room of employees who have fallen asleep on the job, not with rage, but with authority, not with fear, but with finality, not with doubt, but with a voice so clear it parts the atmosphere. You must say, I give money no option but to arrive. You must say, all channels are now open to me. Every divine appointment, every unseen avenue, every overdue opportunity, every delayed contract, awaken now and obey my word. You must begin to treat your spoken decree as an issuing of spiritual payroll. Because heaven does not respond to your emotional frustration, it responds to your vibrational instruction. Speak now, not as one waiting for permission, not as one hoping for scraps, but as one who has stood before the throne of truth and heard these words. Ask, and it is given. Speak, and it shall be done. Decree a thing, and it shall be established. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is law. This is how the unseen is moved into the seen. This is how spiritual energy becomes visible form. This is how divine substance turns into money in your account. But it will not come because you cried. It will not come because you feared. It will not come because you explained your need again and again. It will come because you finally understood the command structure of the kingdom, because you spoke not as a passive recipient, but as a priest of provision, as a general of goodness, as a steward of overflow who does not stutter when ordering what heaven already assigned them. So I ask you now, and I do not ask softly, will you speak as if overflow is owed to you by divine inheritance? Or will you keep speaking like one applying for a miracle instead of activating it? Will you speak with the confidence of covenant? Or will you continue hoping your tone will someday sound right to God? Will you use your mouth as an open wound or a spiritual invoice? Because let me tell you, one carries pain, the other carries payment. One keeps you rehearsing lack, The other builds you a ledger of increase, and one delays what was already yours, while the other commands it into your hand now. Say it with me, and do not whisper. Money, I command you now. Flow to me in divine order. Arrive in full supply. Manifest by spiritual law. I give you no option but obedience. I remove all resistance. I speak, and you obey. I decree, and you respond. My word is your master key. Again, I give money no option but to arrive. I no longer stutter. I no longer apologize. I no longer fear. I speak with the fire of divine authority, and the gates of wealth must open under my voice. Now breathe. Feel the shift in the air. Feel the atmosphere around you tremble with attention, because your decree just entered the archives of spiritual instruction, and heaven is not confused by it. It is commanded by it. You didn't just speak poetry, you issued payroll. You didn't just hope aloud, you exercised law. You didn't just play with sound, you pulled levers in the unseen. And now, the inflow has no choice but to answer. Let the affirmations now rise, not from your lips alone, but from your belly, from the throne room of your inner temple, from that sacred dimension within where no fear can breathe, where no past failure can echo, where no false authority holds rank, where only truth reigns and only law governs, and where your voice is not a passive instrument of feeling, but an activated rod of command. Because when I say affirm these words, I do not mean whisper them as a ritual. I mean thunder them through every cell of your being until your bones believe, until your breath adjusts to wealth frequency, until your bank account becomes irrelevant because you already moved in spiritual credit. Say it now. I give money divine instruction, not casual suggestion, not polite request, instruction, divine instruction, backed by the authority of spirit, sent out like a decree sealed with fire and holiness, landing not in fantasy but in invisible law, where it immediately begins to rearrange the energetic landscape of your reality. This is not fiction. This is how form bends to faith, how vibration becomes visible. Say, I magnetize wealth by my decree, not through strategy, not through struggle, not through some new tactic that manipulates the outer world, but through the decree that vibrates from divine alignment, because wealth is not pulled through fear, it is magnetized through spiritual certainty, and your word is the magnet, your tone is the force field, your repetition is the current that calls supply from silence into substance. Now say, the unseen rearranges itself at my command. And do not speak it as though you are guessing. Speak it as one who has stood at the edge of lack and shouted abundance into the void and watched it obey. Speak it as one who has stared down delay and refused to blink. Speak it as one who does not wait for the world to change, but whose word changes the world. And now, say this final phrase slowly, with fire and finality. My tongue is the lever that opens all vaults. Not some vaults, not once in a while. All vaults, all gates, all doors, all financial pathways, all client contracts, all investments, all divine assignments marked with your name. Your tongue opens them because your tongue is not flesh and blood. It is spiritual weapon. It is legal key. It is architect's tool. It is divine hammer. Your tongue opens what others think is locked because you were never meant to beg at the gates of provision. You were always meant to command them. Do you feel it? The rhythm? The current? The heat in your spine and the clearing in your chest? That is not emotion. That is evidence. The shift is real. The rearrangement has begun. The vault has heard your voice. Now that the decree has been spoken, now that the tongue has been loosed in